Why, hello there, everybody. Are you all as excited as we are? Because if you're not, you goddamn should be. This is a great intro so far, I know. This is the grand finals of RaC Champs' tournament, all screwed up. I'm joined today by not just one commentator, but two commentators that you may or may not already be familiar with. I am joined on the mic today by third-placed finalist of the RaC of All Screwed Up. Oh my god, I'm so bad at speaking today. I'm joined by third-placed finisher, Onetabloid, and RaC fan favorite, Mr. Mantodia. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you here on the mic today.
Had to drop that third place in early, huh?
I'm sorry. You know, I don't mean to cause you harm, Tab. I have to.
It's fine. I'm not salty about it. Don't worry about it.
It's been, approximately 30 seconds since I've gotten on the mic, and I've already pissed off at least someone. So, I'm sorry about that. It's great to have you both here. Tab, it's great to have you back. Manto, it's a pleasure. Glad you could wake up in time today.
Yeah. I mean, I woke up yesterday and the day before that, but, ain't it funny how the world works, You finally do something on time, and it's like, not today. Not today, actually. Catch him next time, Tiger,
Manto, could you do me a favor? Mute yourself on OBS Ninja. I'm hearing you twice.
Oh, I gotcha.
All right.
In chat that I want to address just straight away, telling me to turn my cap around so everyone has the same outfit. We did address this before the stream started, and I am defiantly wearing my cap in the opposite direction to my two co-commentators.
And you know what? It works because it looks so good on him. I don't know about Manto. I don't know if you can rock a backwards cap. I cannot to save my life. I look like a fratty douchebag.
I look like a douchebag skater.
Yeah, that's fair. Here, we can
fit very well though.
We can get a little bit of this going. I think we should probably save this power level though for like if we get to game 3. I think then they would be. I think personally, I feel like this is like the more tame way to live my life. But then as the hype, it's like when Ash wants to catch a Pokemon, like he spins it back when at like the peak of drama.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we could have like just the amount of backwards caps being the game that's being played. So like game 2, Manto turns his hat around.
Oh, and that's true.
Oh my god, that's genius. Well, gentlemen, I think it's about time as these runners are setting up. We should probably take a look at the standings here, see what kind of a match we're in for, because this is going to be a bit of a slugfest. I don't know how to get everyone. Hold on, give me.
Get Tab out of here.
I'm still here. I'm like just in the middle.
Oh wait. We're trying something new here. Hold on. Let me just send these guys up here. There we go. There's all three of us. So yeah, as this is probably, I mean, I know these runners have been going at it. I mean, for those of you unaware, we haven't been able to do this the past few days because of internet issues on my end, which is stupid. But the internet issues should be, in theory, resolved, meaning we can finally have this. But in that time, these runners have really strengthened their PBs quite a bit.
Yeah, they're tied in size matters. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if that's WR. I think I remember it being 52 as WR.
I think it is world record. Yeah, after the Golden Clip setup, I think Sneep they both were doing quite a bit of grinding, and I think this is also not the first time they've been tied, but now they have tied world record. So size matters is definitely going to be one to watch. Sneep, getting a 24, I think yesterday in Tools of Destruction, winning his time down, and that time you see on Scott, it was also a PB. So they've both been doing a lot of practice in all 3 games, wanting to give you a fantastic match today, as I'm sure we're going to see.
Yeah, they've elected to start with RaC 1. Yeah, I know Tab's popping off over that. They basically just said that they wanted to give you all the best show possible, and so they think that RaC 1 is the best way to do it. So, obviously, Sneepy a bit of a favorite, having just barely over a 1-minute edge on Scott in this category. But as you guys have seen, 1 minute does not really mean a whole lot in a category this long and this complicated.
Yeah, so many tough things that could just bombard you at every step of the way in AGB. It's an extremely brutal category, and a PB difference of that much. Obviously, it's not nothing. Sneep definitely does have the edge with a PB like that, but it's nothing even close to being a decider of the category.
Yeah, especially, I mean, given, for example, in the earlier matches of this tournament, it was basically RaC 1 was just blowout city. There were maybe one or two close matches, but the large majority of them were decided within the first 20 minutes, where usually the other person just wouldn't let go of their pace. But that being said, obviously we're going to see how that unfurls. Let's take a look real quick here at the path that both of these runners took here to get to where they are today. I'm sorry if this brings up any bad memories, Tab.
It's all good. It's all good. You know what? It's totally fine, because when you were talking about how RaC 1 was mostly blowouts, I was thinking, I didn't lose a RaC 1 game for the whole tournament, so I'm pretty happy about that. I don't care what the tournament standings say. I don't care what my place on the podium says. I just didn't lose a RaC 1 game.
Well, we're glad that you were able to work through those feelings, Tab.
Yeah, not salty, not bitter.
Yeah. But yeah, of course, so Sneepyy and Scott both having 3-1 records. Sneepyy only dropping a set to Tab so far, which again, that's a feather in your cap. If Sneepyy can take home the gold today, you are technically the first place finisher because you have a positive record on Sneepyy, if that is the case.
It's a moral victory for sure.
But Scott, of course, having a very swift and decisive road to get here in the first week. He started 3-0 out of his matches, only dropping a set to Sneepyy, and that was the last match that was seen on this stream. Of course, Scott wanting to keep things at least. I mean, obviously he wants to win today, and maybe even in a deciding 2-0 fashion. But he's got to get through RaC 1 to be able to make that happen first. So that being said here, I think we're going to pull up the feeds and see if these runners are ready to go. Well,
hold on, I got to predict.
Oh, sure. Yeah, by all means, Manto. Yeah, make sure you get your predictions in. This is going to be a big one. I mean, this is probably, no exaggeration to say this is easily one of the closest matches we've had in terms of times, in terms of overall level of skill within the games themselves, and just experience of the runners. I mean, both of these runners have been grinding these games for so long. I mean, maybe not specifically Todd or Size Matters, but they've both been running. I mean, Sneepyy and I were actually having a conversation. He's been in the community now for 5 years. And Scott has been around pretty much just as long. I want to say he was around starting 2016, maybe 2017. I'm kind of forgetting my exact timetables here. But both of these runners, veterans of the series, and you're going to see that confidence that you can only build after being in this community for so long. You're going to see both of them kind of demonstrating some of that as they go through these games. Try to put on some clutch factor for you all.
Yeah, definitely. I think, despite the result on Friday, I think that it's still the case that all three of these games could go either way.
Yeah.
And it's definitely one of the closest matches we've had just across the board. So it's just going to be super exciting to see whatever happens.
Couldn't agree more. All right, let's. I'm gonna pop on the game feed. We're gonna start with Sneepyy since he's the person on game feed number 1. We're gonna start with his audio. Sneepyy is chilling in the load screen. Scott chilling out right here by this Quark poster. Getting some swag out for all of you.
He's got that CRT buzz or Easy the
Yeah.
Slate layer.
Yeah, it's kind of nostalgic.
Yeah, it is. It's got that old tape quality.
But yeah, so apologies in advance if things go wrong visually. Both of these runners are having spots of visual trouble from time to time. Just depends on their internet connection. Just depends on what's going on with OBS Ninja. Of course, OBS Ninja is a free piece of software, so it's not perfect. In fact, you'll find most paid things in life aren't perfect either. Just a little bit neater around the edges. So Sneepyy here, just kind of getting some of that nervous energy out of here by walking Ratchet around the fence.
The weirdest oob in the game. He's showing us the ghost fence here. Part of this fence is just weirdly translucent, kind of like the ghost taxi. If anyone knows about the ghost taxi, yeah, it's just like the ghost fence. Nobody really knows why. Just kind of like opacity hitbox that they just didn't get rid of or something. Very strange.
Yeah.
Well, we lost Scotto.
We did lose Scott.
Scotto's gone.
Yes.
Scotto is dead. Steve, number 1 place.
Okay, we're seeing signs of life here. This is starting to remind me of found footage.
Yeah.
Quark is
For
dead,
real.
Easter egg,
I have no idea why the stream is chanting the word blue. Oh, maybe because the screen was blue. Yeah, that makes sense now. Okay, I figured it out. I parsed it together.
Great commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's messing with his cables to get rid of the fuzz right now. That's what he's doing. All right. Looks like we're almost ready, right?
All right, let me get some verbal confirmation from the runners.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about Scotto?
I'm close enough to ready.
All right. We'll take what
Close
we can
enough.
get. That's as, you know, considering the stakes here, I'll take that. I think that's an acceptable answer.
Right. Okay.
Manto, as the first, since you're a first timer here, if you'd like to give the first countdown of the series, you're more than welcome to do so.
All right. Go from 3. 3, 2, 1, go.
And here we are,
So it begins.
the finals. Oh my god! And of course, both of their videos are.
Oh man. Alright, so here they're doing
Velden.
they're dying on Velden. Scotto's taking a death on Velden
An
already.
early death, yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't lose like much time at all, so it doesn't matter much. But if you can make out from the from the very pixelated quality, it's actually crazy. They're flipping and they're grabbing bolts, so that's very important. Looks like we're finally getting some stabilization on Sneepy's feet. We can actually see what's going on.
Yeah, this is actually watchable now. Very exciting.
Yeah, in quotes, this is like on my phone, mobile, stuck in like a gas station, 144p quality, but you know, it's watchable.
We will do our best to walk you through what's going on. As Sneepy comes into Navalis now, he's going to be skipping for all these checkpoints. Not a lot that goes on in the start of the run anyway. They're just going to be sort of moving through the levels, picking up a couple bolts here and there, and trying to get to the first bolt check on Cohen, which is obviously 1,000 for the helipack. And then we will start schmoving. So hopefully the feeds have gotten slightly better by then.
Doesn't
Yeah.
seem like it. At least not yet.
Yeah.
Of course, your 3 commentators coming to you in absolutely pristine quality.
I'm stealing all the bitrate over here.
All right, looks like you're starting to get some more frames per second in a Sneepy stream real quick, but I may have spoken too. Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, the Slender Man got him there. You can see, that can happen. You know, gotta watch out for him.
I was just about to say the same thing about Scotto, and then his game feed, like during the cutscene, it looked pretty like okay, and then as soon as the gameplay started again, it didn't know.
We're having like
So, yeah.
pockets of like great looking quality.
Yeah, it's just bitrate stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like if they stand still for a second, we're like, oh my god, and then like the second they get moving, it's like, all right, well, you know what?
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
You can just treat us like a radio show, though. You know, we'll try and tell you what's going on.
Sneepy's going up to the copter here, where he's going to see. He's going to be able to
I
tell.
don't know
what
why
his
it's really
warranty
funny
is.
to watch the missing frames and just see him like in the air moving with flips. It's very interesting to me.
Yeah, so Sneepy knows what his bolt RNG was looking like there. Obviously, we don't. He's looking for 1,000. And
This run's not verifiable to say the least.
I think I saw he had 1,000. So we'll see for Scotto. I think Scotto also has 1,000. I think I saw a 1.
Yeah, I saw a comma for sure.
I see
So
a 6.
both of our runners will be
Only
affording
thinking.
the helipack and using it now.
And you see, this is why tournament endeavors like RaC Champs are so important, because we have to help these runners get better internet.
Sneepy getting attacked by Slenderman, of course. Saves
Yes.
Sneepy, I think, carried his momentum quite well there to the end of the
You
cone
think?
elevator.
time. Oh man.
And the only way I can really tell that is by the amount of time it took him to get over there. Scotto hot on his tail though.
Yeah, you know, making up some ground after an early death on Velden.
No, I don't think Scotto got the chain there and had to wall bounce up. At least what I
Yeah,
can
he,
gather.
He just fell down. It only loses a couple of seconds though. It's definitely more tilting than it is like
Oh,
time
Sneepy's
loss. You know
actually
what I
looking
mean?
good now.
Okay, that's because not that much is moving, as you were saying earlier. But he got Yonder train skip. I think it was Yonder who he wouldn't have gone for anything else. First try.
Yeah, he did.
Got going for a slightly slower setup here, which loses a little bit of time, but for consistency for Scotto, that makes total sense. And he's not that far behind Sneep anyway.
Yeah, he's
but
10
of course it is. Yeah, okay.
joking.
But of course, it is the movement in this game principally that separates the men from the boys. So we will see if Sneep's able to extend his lead. Scott has been grinding away, and got his movement a little bit sharper than it was before, as we've seen before.
Oh, I can't wait to see the funny pixelated ratchet face that Sneepy goes for here on the load screen. We'll see if Scott can match it. They're obviously playing for swag as well as pride, and money, and you know.
I love the sweeping bit right there.
Yeah.
Like, see it, like enhance.
Oh my god, it's
that's
a
a good
much
one.
better face from Scott. We'll see if that helps him later on.
It reminds me of Pokemon Snap, where like you would just try to get the most ridiculous face, and Professor Oak would just go like "wonderful," like no matter how stupid it looked. I feel like we're playing Pokemon Snap here on RaC Champs. Yeah, getting the movement chain.
One being such a high-paced game.
Yeah.
We are going to be seeing these bit rate drops as a rule for the next sort of 50 minutes.
Yeah, here's hoping that it just magically gets better. That'd be kind of dope.
Yeah.
Would be very
At
good.
least one of them, you know.
Yeah, we'll see here. Sneepy's coming up to Jankpot.
Oh, did
I'll think
Scotto
of this-
collect
I'll think of
bolts
this.
there? I can't tell.
Oh, he collected some bolts. I don't know if that's.
You
can
need to
collect
collect
a
100.
couple. Yeah,
It's
it's not the end of the
100,
world.
yeah. Okay.
To lose, to collect a few bolts.
I think
You
it
can
gets
always-
bad around 80, because 80 is like ×4 instead of ×5, which is how much Jankpot normally gives. So, yeah, he should be fine though. I don't think he picked up too many, but I can't tell actually.
You can usually tell by the time you get to the. Wait, did Sneepy take a death there? He's going back.
He had to reload because his
had to
bolt counts
reload.
were so messed up. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
I
Scott
thought
does
Sneepy
have a
got
lead
it.
here now.
Yeah, Scott now taking the lead. I obviously wasn't able to see Sneep's bolt count, but it looked like he was going for a very a much slower and safer Jankpot setup, and maybe one that he maybe kind of bit him in the ass a little bit. Maybe it was a setup that he wasn't as comfortable with, and then ended up missing a box or two, or collecting some bolts early.
Yeah, I'm gonna try
Actually
refreshing the
able to see
caches.
his bolt count
Oops.
for a second there.
Don't mind this. I forgot to go into studio mode real quick. That's my bad. All right.
Sneepy has, Scotto has 4,000 bolts, and Sneepy has 37, and oh my gosh,
That was
Sneepy took another
incredible.
death.
Sneepy's feed is extremely watchable now.
Here, this is I'm just refreshing the cache on my end. This might help for both runners actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, it helped for Sneepy a lot for sure.
Yeah, looks like Scotto's going into Eudora already, so.
Looks like Scott
who
is
knows?
getting crashed
Yeah.
on Eudora.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. And, yeah, Sneepy's feed's back to... Well,
Yeah.
you know what? It's on and off.
Yeah, it was okay, and then it wasn't, and now it is again. Scott looks about the same, to be honest.
Yeah, so Scotto's taking a pretty big lead here. I'm pretty sure this is like a minute ahead, right?
It's probably like 30, 45 seconds. Eudora in total takes... actually, maybe you're right. It's maybe like a minute.
And also, Sneepy has a lackluster bolt count again. He's at like 38. I mean,
you really want to be seeing over 4K with Jankpot.
Scotto has 4.1K, so he's looking all right. And
Yeah, very comfortable.
it's already on Blarg now.
Not the end of the world for Sneep to have 3.8 or rather 2.8 coming to Eudora, but he's going to have to spend some extra time on Blarg because you need 4K by the time you leave Blarg. So he's going to have to pick up a few backup bolts.
Well, jeez, I thought Scotto was just gonna take a death right there, but he
I
got
think
a
he
little
went for
bit
a
of a weird
GLJ
launch.
actually.
Yeah, he got like a weird like one of those turning long jumps. I guess they are called GILJs, but you only get like one. You get them on like ledges and stuff.
I think he got some GLJs. I think he got like 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
It's
It is
a
hard
nice
to
strat,
tell.
though.
It is a little hard to
Yeah,
tell.
suffice it to say, if we could see it, we would know.
It is a known strat there to go for GLJs. and I think Franz told me off for not doing it recently. So maybe Scott has been watching some Franz PBs and learning.
They're finally on the same planet now. Oh my god. I was really confused where he was for a second. It's kind of hard to keep track. Scotto could crash here if he's not careful. And
he didn't.
He's good. He's good. He shouldn't. It's not too hard to avoid, but just in case, it's always worth pointing out that if something like that happens, that is quite the time loss.
Yeah, and the thing you've got to think about for Scotto as well is that, like, not only is he kind of the underdog in this matchup, yeah.
That's unfortunate for Sneepy.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Sneepy taking a bit of a time loss there. Again, not the end of the world.
Failed the midair there, which you can't even reach the area you want to without at least somewhat of an okay midair. And so he has to glide all the way back in. And looks like he fails it again, actually, which is really tragic. Scotto gonna be in some serious time now.
Oh, he was actually stuck in bounds there. I think you can actually get stuck in that wall, and there's no way to. You have to reload to get out of it. So I was a little worried for Sneep there.
Scotto farming another.
Scotto going to be extending his lead quite a bit now with the reload into Blarg. He's going to be pretty much done with it. Just this reload, and he's going to be off the real dot. Sneep basically at the start of the planet. So it's looking more like a minute and a half now.
Yeah, this is. I would say it's upwards of like. Oh my god, Scotto's game quality looks so crisp.
Oh, there we go. It took a little bit, but we're finally here.
I put it in the eye drops, man.
Somebody DM everyone who left in the first 5 minutes and tell them to come back, please. We have watchable feeds.
Oh my god, I feel like reinvigorated, you know? Like I feel great.
So Scotto does know. Yeah, okay.
But it's.
I think he realized his. Oh no, he's decided to continue going for him.
Yeah.
I don't
Very risky, but you know he's got the time save, or he's got the lead for it, and if he hits that, that puts a ton of pressure on Sneepy. So
all right, giving a little bit of Sneepy comeback time.
Yeah, for Scotto, I definitely know he knows Cineflips, but I didn't know whether he was comfortable enough with his consistency to attempt them in the race. And it looks like he is, or he was, but just getting a bit too much speed on them there. But he seems to be going for the ILJ backup now, not wanting to bleed too much time to attempting the trick, because he knows. I think he knows that Sneep's going to be a bit more consistent at that trick than him, and he's probably going to make up some time if he's not careful.
How much does Shrimp Clip lose exactly, or at least 20. Like what setup he's doing?
Optimally,
I know, like optimally you can do like some crazy stuff where you can get it like a chain, you can hyper strike through the wall and long jump to this thing. A little crazy, but like. What he's going for loses like what, 20, 25?
Yeah, so all I can really go by is golds, and I know most people's golds are like 2, 3x to high 2x, which is about 20 seconds slower.
Alright, it looks like Scotto's finally getting his
Scotto's speed looking
now.
Incredible. These runners now trading bit rates. Sneepy's, I mean, it's been fortunate for us, because obviously Scotto's the one in the lead. But I mean, I was going to make a joke about Scotto advancing to the next slide earlier, and now it looks like it's Sneepy who's got that burden.
Yeah. So, Scotto's feed looking real nice, and it's great that he's in the lead.
Yeah.
Do we have audio for Scotto's feed?
We do have audio on Scotto's feed right now. Yes.
That's excellent. Now we're popping off now.
Yeah, Scott was saying before the stream started that he was having a bit of video issues because his family was using a lot of bandwidth. So I guess his brother stopped watching YouTube videos right next to him. So finally clearing up some space for him.
Playing some Fortnite, running some duos, and
getting a very good ratchet face there to clap back on Scotto from earlier, I think.
Yeah. So
how much would you say he's ahead now by? Because he's about to leave Blarg, and Sneepy's about to. And Scotto's about to leave Blackwater. So I guess that's like 2 minutes, right?
Best case scenario for Sneepy. So a good bot graph there is 1:35. As Sneepy's loading in. So best case scenario, he's about a minute and a half ahead, but realistically, it's probably closer to 2.
Yeah. Anyway,
1:35 is an incredibly good time check for that bolt.
Let's see if Sneepy can get Cinnas here.
It's looking good so far.
Yeah, looking really good. Oh, and he dropped it.
Unfortunate.
That's okay though, because Scotto failed Cineflips as well, and took a lot more of a time loss, and wasn't able to recover it, and ended up getting killed quite a few times. But Sneepy quickly goes for the swim clip back up and makes it not lose nearly as much time. So that's good for Sneepy there. Sneepy's a little bit low on bolts. He needs to grab 10 bolts. But otherwise he's fine. His bolt route doesn't look that bad. These crates here give like next to nothing. But they give pretty much exactly 100 total. Like 130 if you're lucky.
Yeah,
so,
between 8 as well, which is like really annoying. And I feel like it's a very like common like new runner thing to be like, why don't we get these? There's like 8 here. Surely
they're so good, and then they pick them up and they pick up some pennies, and they're like,
yeah, that's the vibe check for sure. Everyone knows immediately like why no one picks that up the first time they pick it up themselves.
Yeah.
Bull routing in these ratchet games is weird. Like, if you've never if you were the first person to if you've never seen a run, you were like, dude, my route's gonna be so good, dude. We're gonna get all these crates. Look, dude, go on Kerwan, dude. There's this whole wall of them. It'll be so easy. And then
they give like,
and it's like
300 max from like a bunch of crates.
Yeah, it's not the crate quantity, it's the crate quality. They're like super. There is some variance, of course, but you know, some crates just aren't built the same. And Scotto getting bolt to boss there pretty easily, so that's pretty nice.
Snaggle Beast ILJ.
Yeah, Snaggle
very,
ILJ.
very clean Umbris from Scotto as we're just talking about bolt variants the entire time. He really pulled it out.
Yeah, real janky hours.
Yeah, Sneepy getting a funny face at least. Gonna be finishing Blackwater now. We got 2 different ships, and we looks like he's already on Battaglia. That was a great Umbris. That really pulled him ahead, really solidifying his lead. Looks like he's got decent bolts too.
A bolt collection, but yeah, very good bolt RNG. Well, very good just bolts generally. You love to see 4 figures going into this first bolt here. Yeah. It means you pretty much say you very rarely have to get backup bolts on Battaglia when you've got this many.
According to our metal god in the chat, time off real guard for Scotto was 13:35 and 15:48 for Sneepy. So Scott with a 2-minute, roughly 15-second lead at the moment. But again, this is also the part of the game that's pretty punishing. Like, you know, even tiny little movement hiccups can lead to big mistake sequences that end up losing you a lot of time here. So Scott can't afford to be careful here. He's got to make sure that he's, you know, he's got to be playing strong here. He can't just rely on halfway decent movement to get him through this stuff.
Yeah, could be losing a lot of time here as well. I know he's going to want to go for tiptoes. If we know one thing about Scotto and marathons and races and stuff, he will go for the dumbest strat he can possibly go for.
Single jump tiptoes are very difficult as well. And just to piggyback off after what you just said, Zem, it's like this kind of, I think it used to be a kind of a thing back in the day that there was the kind of gauntlet of 4 that you needed to get through. Started on Real Guy, you've got Umbris straight away afterwards, Battaglia straight away after that, and then Orcs on 1 straight away after that. But as the kind of the strats in AGB developed.
Oh, did you see that swag coming in?
That was beautiful. We love to see it. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, please.
Getting very nice Umbris chain there, and maybe lessening the lead Scotto has. It's too early to tell, but yeah, this is going to be interesting now. And if Scotto fails anything on this SI, this could be huge for Sneepy. Like, we could actually be looking at pretty similar times, but I actually think Scotto will get it first try, personally.
Yeah, I mean, Scotto getting a very clean Battaglia SI here. It's pretty much over by this point, but I mean, it just begs the question: is he comfortable enough with his lead to go for these single jump tiptoes, knowing that if he takes a death here, going for these single jump tiptoes, he will be back to even with Sneepy, like pretty much.
I think he's absolutely going for him. Let's see.
Well, hold your breath, everyone. He is going for them.
And yep, there we go. That's it.
Extremely clean from Scotto. That's much faster than the next thing, which is much faster than the next thing. He could have gone for a strat, which would have lost him maybe 15 there. And he goes for the swag strat all day, and that is an incredibly good Battaglia for Scotto, really tearing through now these levels.
You need to keep your mouth shut, man. You're gonna jinx it.
It's
running
fine.
off the
That's
edge.
like
Yeah.
that's not a big time loss.
Yeah, it's not a big time loss, but it's just funny.
It's tilting. It's definitely tilting. There's also like a bonk you can get on the ship, which bonks you off the ledge, and you can die that way too.
I love when people do that, though. I love that.
Yo, shout outs to Ricky for hosting the stream. Good to see you, man. Pleasure to have you here.
Is the score 0-0?
So yes, it is.
Yep.
It is game one. We are in game one right now. But Sneepyy has about Scotto has like about a 2 to 2.5 minute lead currently.
Yeah, of course, here we are on
Go for
Orxon,
tree,
though.
and we get second try on tree, so that's pretty good. Not shabby at all. Nowadays, tree is not nearly as scary, so like, losing a lot of time there isn't as common. I don't know if anybody remembers the relay race with Janky, where he spent nearly like 20 minutes on tree or something ridiculous like that. And he pretty much single-handedly lost us the relay. But it was a dark age when we used to have such a horrible setup for that. And now we're in a renaissance where any percent categories are blessed with the fact that we can just have one of the most base setups of all time for pretty much any trick ever.
Yeah, shouts to former co-commentator and Ratchet Chad Sippy for that setup. He really single-handedly saved the NG categories from a world of pain when he dropped that, I think about a year ago now.
Oh my god.
Well, even then, the original tree skip setup that he found was also extremely revolutionary at the time as well. I mean, it's only gotten better and better. His discoveries are pretty top notch.
Oh, he made the first one.
Yeah, he did.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah,
I had no clue. I had no clue he made the first one as well. I remember it was thought to be RNG. Oops, Scotto getting a double midair there.
Really good midair chain.
Extremely clean first try.
Yeah, Scotto's really running away with this now. It's not as big of a lead as you might expect, but I mean, once we get into PDA, there's only a few tricks that can really like lose such heaps of time, whereas like a lot of the early game stuff can really just like losing like Vitali SI and missing Bolt to Boss can just be like insane time losses, whereas it'll only get a little bit more reasonable. I mean, he can still lose a lot of time, but you know, making mistakes will be a little bit less punishing once he gets to the PDA. So if he can hold his lead here, we could be looking at, you know, we've been looking at a pretty decisive Scotto victory, but it's not over yet. It's not over at all.
Yeah, still not out of this by any means.
So yeah, kind of what I was saying before when Sneepyy was doing something crazy.
Oh man.
Sneepyy punching out of the pipe there. Really sucks that for that to happen. But I guess it again, first try.
Yeah, it's not too much time lost, but it is one of those things where like that really messes with your mental, and that's a lot of what races are, is being able to hold it together, you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and make this point again. If Sneepyy can just like have a load screen, that's fine. So as I was saying, it kind of used to be the kind of gauntlet of 4 that you had to get through, but as the times have gone through in AGB, it just kind of turns out that all of the planets, up to, I would say, you get the PDA now, have just something really difficult in them. And there's no real point where you can like have a breather. I mean, Pokey is the closest thing, but I mean, but everything on either side of it, Gaspar has the double midair. Orcs on 2, optimally you skip the checkpoint now, so it's kind of like Monka chasing the infobot around. 1 death is a huge time loss on Orcs on 2. Hoven, everyone hates Hoven. Gemlik, you have fast Gemlik. Altanis, there's beam jump. Like, you just don't have a rest if you're playing this game at a competitive level, as both of these runners are. So it really, there is just nowhere that you can afford to be comfortable, and there's nowhere that, I mean, I don't think we're going to be seeing beam jump today, but regardless, I don't think there's any way that Scotto can feel comfortable with his lead until really quite late in the run here.
Yep, Scotto opting to not do dive bomb, which is a very smart decision. I forget how much it actually saves, but of course, dive bomb has been attempted in this marathon by. Wait, hold on. I don't know which
other way.
Camera. No, wait, hold on.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
By yours truly over there. And he actually got it, so that's pretty sick. We at least got to show it off once, but this is the alternative here, is doing an SI, which really doesn't lose much time, and you'll see most runners opting to go for it, because it's just so much easier. So much easier.
Yeah.
Scotto's looking good on health too, right? Yeah.
He's looking solid on health so far. Yeah, that's usually. I mean, this is never the scary spot for health-related stuff anyway. It's usually, I mean, runners these experience. I don't expect either of them to really mess up too much at the very end, but that is kind of the spot where people would mess up, right?
Yeah,
Anyone know what,
typically
Planet's
kind
name
of.
is on?
I think he's still at Gaspar.
I think I can see a little bit
I
of
think-
the buildings at the top left. That's actual visual garbage.
Yeah, this is the most deep fried it's been so far.
Yeah. Really just had some.
Oh my
hills
god.
for something. Okay,
What
this
is-
a load screen we're seeing.
Okay, yes,
For sure this is a
absolutely.
load screen.
So he's off
So I
to
think he's
pokey
just
now.
left Gaspar. Oh, okay.
Okay. I was gonna say I'll have to refresh his cache again, I think. Okay, it actually looks pretty nice now, all things considered.
We're losing Scotto quality though. No.
Both of our runners at watchable quality for maybe the first time in the run.
This is wild. This is the dawn of a new day.
He was just saving all that quality there. He's wasting it on the load screen so he could have a good pokey.
And just a reminder to everybody that regardless of how this game goes, whether Sneepy can pull back the miraculous comeback or whether Scott can keep him at arm's length the entire length of the run, you know, there is no significant edge that one of these runners has going into any of the other games. It can essentially come down to a coin flip, as you're seeing right now, where even though Sneepy is the advantaged runner coming into RaC 1, I mean, a couple of early mistakes can really stunt your momentum. But the same is true for every game. You know, this is going to be an exciting race, and neither of these runners wants to lose. There's always a funny thing that like people make fun of commentators for in the fighting game scene, because at some point some commentator will always say it always comes down to who wants it more, as if neither of the people like particularly wants it at all. It's just like, so I'm not gonna say that, but I will say that you know, regardless of what happens here, you know, both of these runners are going to be giving their 100% in the coming game or games. So we're not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. And you see coming up over here, Scott had a pretty clean rest of his Pokitaru, and he's finishing up the fight now, heading on over to Orkson too. Sneepy's still playing catch-up. I think he's been slowly minimizing the lead just a little bit. I'm not 100% sure after that. After the Orkson and Gaspar, I don't know what it's looking like for him, but I know that before that he was starting to bridge the gap just a bit.
The time check at 26:30 for Scott leaving Pokey, so we'll see if he's managed to close that gap a little when he gets there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. We're entering Orkson now. And Scotto's still looking pretty good. He's been playing pretty solid. No real serious mistakes from Scotto since like what, Veldin 1, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, one death in Veldin 1. I can't actually think of any more significant mistakes. Oh, that's a
well,
mistake.
you know what?
Sure.
There's one of them at least.
Yeah.
That's not too bad though, because he backed it up real fast.
Oh, he messed up center flips as well, but again, that was maybe 20, 30 seconds. I'm having a bit of trouble with this strat here. Is he going to be taking a death? I think he's going to be taking a death. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Maybe we're getting closer to a close race. But
And just to be clear, none of us are expressly rooting against Scott here. We just want to see like a tighter race. We're not trying to be like, yeah, screw Scott.
some of us are but yeah, we're just we're looking forward to see how well they can perform, and of course, if they both can keep their lead. I mean, if Sneepy can keep playing well and then Scotto makes a mistake or two, we can just get a closer race, and we'd like to see them trade it back, because of course, when it's a landslide, it's a little bit more, a little bit less fun, I guess. But yeah, it looks like he's able to keep his nerves and get it back though, and he'll be taking Bolt 1 and Death Abusing, and
And onto the straight socialism strats here from Scott.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like.
Across the mud. Going for the jump thrust strat. This is not usually what you see runners doing, but I think Scott has his own way of doing tiptoes, and we see he has no problems crossing the mud there. For anyone who doesn't know, that strat is like extremely precise. He's got to be timing. I think he times, actually. I think most runners mash, but he does time his X presses to hit a very small frame window as you usually would sink into that mud to get a jump out of it instead. And Scotto is just, wow, he's just come into the game and just proved himself to be a god gamer by getting superior tiptoes to everyone else.
Oh my gosh.
A little scary here, but that's okay.
A little scary. But ultimately, convincingly chasing the infobot to the end. No huge deaths left in Orcs on 2 for Scotto now. So he's going to be moving on to Hoven pretty quickly as as Sneepy enters it. So the 26:30 I said, wasn't it? So he's what, 2 and 40 behind.
Bang.
Yeah, unfortunate. I think it was Orxon that kind of did him in there a little bit, and Gaspar certainly didn't help out.
Ooh, very nice chain.
Good chain going all the way into the bolt trigger.
Yeah, we're gonna see here. Sneepy's got to have a really clean Orxon 2 here to be able to start making up some time. And of course, you know, I do kind of want to highlight Scott messing up a seemingly random spot in Orxon 2 out of all the things he could have messed up. You'll find, for those of you who don't speedrun, that the best runs that you ever have are usually not going to be ruined by things you expect them to be ruined by. They're always ruined by some random dumb mistake you weren't paying attention to. And, you know, that kind of being shown right here. I think Nick was saying in the chat that Scott, up until then, was, I think, only 20 seconds behind his PB.
Oh my gosh.
Really? Wow.
Still on a very solid run on the same here, trying to get through Hoven. Kind of shocking he didn't upwarp into the turret there.
Getting that upwarp completely blind there. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
He was off screen getting that upwarp into the turret. Yeah, it's just. I mean, I mentioned earlier how people hate Hoven, and people hate Hoven for a multitude of reasons. The trigger to get into this turret. So the way it works is that I guess because there's nothing above or below it, the game didn't code in that they would check sort your elevation to get you into the turret. So you just have to be directly under or above it, and you'll get warped straight in. But the trigger is very precise, and people can mess up hitting it a lot, as you saw Scotto do that. And also, this fight sucks. It sucks. The health is RNG.
His fight was good.
Yeah, his fight was solid.
No, I mean just in general, the fight sucks.
Yeah.
A good variant of it.
Oh, he's gonna get the ILJ. Or is he gonna go?
He's gonna go for the tiptoe strat here. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna tiptoe back.
Scotto is the tiptoe mega fan. He loves that stuff, man.
Maybe just, man.
Oh, he
Drop
just
down and
missed
getting
it.
the wall bounce back up now.
You live by the tiptoes, you die by the tiptoes. That's how it goes. But Sneepy rounding out a really good 0-2. I mean, you know, he knows he has to play on demand here to be able to catch up some time, and he's making it happen. So I'd be curious to see if he managed to cut the 2-minute mark with that. Obviously, still a pretty big deficit, but, you know, making it happen as best he can here.
I've never actually seen anybody go for that. Is that new?
I found that maybe if you're talking about the tiptoe strat to skip the cycle, I found that maybe the start of this year.
Oh, I've just never seen it. I don't know why. I mean, I guess Franz goes for the janky route.
Yeah,
nowadays.
The Black Market Hoven, as it's called.
Sneepy taking a death early onto Hoven.
And actually, recently demolished the community goal with that route. I think he got sub 2, which everyone was waiting for such a long time.
My.
And he got an incredibly good one.
Yeah, Sneepy barely landing inside the turret there. I mean, that was as close as it gets, but he still manages to get in there.
Yeah.
Pardon me. My allergies are killing me today.
Oh, you're alright. Alright. We're entering...
He has notoriously bad Hoven, so I would love to commentate on how his fight's going. But, you know, I think it's going okay.
His health bar looks ridiculous.
This reminds me of, if somebody tried to, over-mod their copy of Doom 1.
See, Scott coming to Gemlik now. Does he go for fast Gemlik? I don't actually know. I would assume he does.
I think he does.
He turns left here.
Oh, no, he's not going for it.
Opting for the slower variant, which is much more consistent, but about 15 seconds slower. So giving Sneepy a bit of time to catch up. Sneepy pretty comfortable with that trick, I think. You'll be seeing him go for it probably when we get to Gemlik to make up a bit of time. Quite a precise series of movement chains that get you into the trigger that you'll see Scotto hitting just now. He's going to hit a checkpoint trigger that starts the fight. Now that extends slightly under the platform, and as it goes, you can get a chain to the left there and hit that trigger right in the bottom with a good piece of movement. But it is extremely difficult to get. So Scotto just opting to go for a stiffer variant, yeah.
And
What's it, Toast?
Bolt 2. Is this bolt 2 or is this
Was
bolt
that
1?
good enough?
That was
Just-
very, very close, but just barely good enough. Yeah.
yeah.
Very,
Very close to flipping into the room under there, which you'd have to take a death on.
risky
But that's
business
the time
coming
off
from
for Scott.
Scott. Yeah. And now you got to think Scott's feeling pretty good here at this point. I mean, he's so close to Old Tannis, which means he's so close to getting the PDA, which will make it a lot harder for Sneepy to catch up because then it's not as easy for Scott to die. Already been doing a fantastic job, though, of not really dying very much.
Yeah.
You know, putting on an extremely solid performance here. But yeah, so we're gonna see how this all unfurls here. We've seen some runners in the heat of the moment mess up some of the ice section. Neither of these runners obviously wants to mess that up, not just because of the race, but because of their own pride. They've been running this game long enough; they don't want to show any sort of mistake like that. We're gonna see here.
Trouble. Oh, Scott having some trouble with the bombs there. Is he gonna go? Oh no. So he actually threw away a couple of bombs, breaking the crates.
Yes,
And
he's
I don't
gonna
know if
miss
he
this
knows-
chunk.
Yeah, he doesn't have any bombs left, which means he can't get the stack that you would usually get at the start of this ice section. I don't know if he factored that in. To be fair, I don't know what his bolt count is like, and
It's
usually
like
swinging.
24. He's fine. He's really
24.
doing
Oh yeah,
good.
that's fine. It's not ideal, but you get enough to buy the info. But he's basically going to have none when he gets out of Nivalis. When he goes to Nivalis at the end of this section, which isn't ideal, but it's definitely workable. The real choke point is this planet itself. You need to have 3,000 to buy one the PDA, which is 1,000, and then two the info ball, which is 2. And you get about 600 bolts near the spot where you'd buy the info bot. So if he was any less than 2-4, he'd actually be in trouble. But yeah,
I'm worried about Scotto getting like the third bolt, I think it is, or it's the last bolt actually. The last bolt, because in a prior race here, he had a little bit of trouble getting it, and it lost him quite a lot of time. So hopefully we can see him actually like obtain it. But I know he was worried about that before, and he always says like, "Oh, I didn't get a triangle input or something."
yeah. In my race against him, we actually both died there.
Yeah, and that's a big time loss. Like,
yeah, it's a lot. It's like a minute.
despite him getting the PDA on this planet and thinking like, oh, he's safe then, this is a planet where like you could realistically make a big mistake with the PDA and lose a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of the time.
Packless.
Yeah, a lot of the time. Well, especially in Altanus, because you're packless, and also just during that section, you have the swing shot out. Now, you can only really save yourself if you have the PDA out, and a lot of the time, if you make a mistake and you have the swing shot out, you have to play this game of, can I do precise enough inputs to get the PDA back out before I hit the death barrier and die? And sometimes the answer to that question is no.
Yeah, just like making a minor like angle-based mistake with your quick select and pulling out the wrong weapon, or the RaC 1 quick select wheel lottery, getting out something random like a bomb glove and then dying, can feel really embarrassing, and that is one of the most tilting mistakes. So if he has something like that happen, I could see some sort of change in standing, possibly. Like, it is that scary of a mistake to make. So hopefully he'll have a good section, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, hopefully you haven't cursed him by talking about this for the last minute.
So meanwhile, just to give everybody an update for Sneepy, he got the fast Gemlick strat. He died on tiptoes just once, which relatively equalizes it, but I think he may be slightly bridging this here. We'll see. Obviously, it depends on how Scotto does this section right here, as you guys have been talking about. Funnily enough, after Sneepy got the bonus crates that Scott missed out on, they were pretty much equal in bolts. So I think Scott's been having some really good bolt RNG this run as well, on top of just moving very quickly. Or maybe he picked up some extra crates that I personally didn't see. But
yeah, with 300 left over there is more than I would expect to see. But pretty much from this point onwards in AGB, you don't need to worry about bolts. It really is Altanus that's the last check. Unless you mess something up with... this is Scotty taking incredibly safe there, actually.
he
kind
did
of
not
movement
want
he
to
did
die
there.
there.
You can tell he was really taking his time with his inputs, because you can actually accidentally hyper strike there as well. And if you do, there is no way to save it. You just die. So yeah, I think he took it a bit slower, and then obviously lost a bit of time there. But I mean, who's going to blame him? Especially after Manto worked it up for about a minute.
Scaring him a little bit. So, all right. Well, that's the end of Ultanis now. Oh yeah, I just noticed. Did either of them go for Magna Walk?
No.
Neither of them
so.
did. Okay.
Unless
So
Sneepy
not...
got the info bot already, but I don't.
He did
think
not.
So.
No.
The bridge is down. Yeah, so he didn't go for it.
Yeah. All right. So neither of them opt to go for Magna Walk, which saves like what 10, 15?
Yeah, it doesn't actually look like it saves that much, but it saves movement over to the info bot here, and it gives you this checkpoint at the info bot earlier than you would get it before. So it means that you don't have to do this backtrack. You'll see when Sneep gets the last bolt, he'll spawn back there, and if you do Magna Walk at the start, it skips that movement back to the ship. So it does actually save more time than you think.
Yeah, especially anything to make packless movement faster saves way more than you would expect. It always does, because moving as just Ratchet is incredibly slow.
Yeah.
Incredibly slow. Even though we have the PDA, we don't have anything like the Walloper to give us a huge burst of speed. So building speed is not really an option here. Minus with like a swing shot target, which maybe Sneepy will get the chain here. But now Scotto's got the PDA, and looks like he's doing fine on bolts. He's doing fine on... he did fine on bolt 1, and he's moving his way along with the PDA, and looking like he's got a pretty clear like, ooh.
Oh, no.
Oh, goodness.
All right,
yeah,
all right,
okay.
good.
Yeah.
We were talking about earlier on Sneepy's screen, where he really had to menu quickly there to get the PDA back out to try and save himself. If anyone's confused, by the way, the PDA is the thing you see them opening and closing a bunch, which just allows you to get movement tech out of the closing of that like sort of menu cutscene. And so if you were like 5 minutes ago, you were like, wait, why can they just jump all over the place now? That's why the thing that they bought allows them to sort of kind of get jumps in midair, which is obviously used to make things a lot faster. And you'll see you can kind of store your speed with it as well. As you see Scotto going into this slide here, one of the coolest looking chains in the game. He's just built up a load of speed, storing it into the slide, and then he's going to zoom out and go across the map.
Yeah.
Like a great chain.
Really good stuff from Scott so far, yeah. This is a solid...
Great Novalis too, in general.
And kind of an interesting thing, just to give you all a bit of an insight as to what happened there with Sneepy as he started to fall. As they were saying, you know, you have to do all the menuing super quick, but as you're closing the PDA, you have to slow down your inputs. So if you're in the heat of the moment and you're trying to just input everything super quickly, it's not terribly difficult to end up hitting the square button too fast, which is what Sneepy did. He ends up falling down quite a bit, but he's on Novalis 2 as well now. You know, keeping this pretty respectable, all things considered. I think he's really minimized this gap here. Obviously, there's still a ways to go, and Sneepy's really got to prove coming into this late game. You know, he's got to keep it consistent, keep it together, show why he has the better RaC 1 time, and put on a really good late game here if he wants to catch up. But it's not entirely in his hands at this point. Scott, you know, the pressure is on him to keep Sneepy away, but he also has to keep playing well.
Yeah. It's worth mentioning as well that Sneepy has demonstrably better PDA tech than Scotto, just from being kind of an NG Plus top tier runner. I think he's 3rd place in NG Plus.
That's correct, yeah.
With an extremely good time. I mean, 3rd place, you know, depending on who you ask, doesn't sound like much, but NG Plus is an extremely optimized category. Where every second matters and every input matters as far as optimizing your PDA tech goes. And Sneepy, that's his absolute bread and butter. So even in the back half of the run where you can't lose too much time, we're expecting to see Sneep make up a little bit more just because he's got just a slightly more intimate knowledge of the tech of the game.
Scotto's going to R2 first. I'm not sure Sneepy will go to Iridia first, right?
No, it's Quad 2 after this.
Oh
everyone.
yeah, I don't know why I had that mixed up in my head. But yes, Scotto gets the ILJ, which if he doesn't get, could lose him a lot of time. I know he also lost a lot of time there before, so looks like he's doing all right. His bolt count is good enough for the end of the game now. he's gonna gain like at least 500 from here. And the last bolt check is the Pyrocitor, which we need to kill the final boss. So he's looking good. It really looks like it's getting to be where I don't think Sneepy can catch up anymore, unless.
Don't say that too soon.
Yeah, definitely,
Well,
definitely places. Even with the PDA,
is a
definitely
big
places you
point.
can die. There's fleet. There are very costly deaths on fleet that having the PDA will not save you from. And Veldin 2, you know, despite what people think, you can definitely die there and lose a bunch of time as well. And Kalibo, I mean, Kalibo's Kalibo. It's all about building speed. If you lose your speed, you're going to hemorrhage time.
Yeah.
So while I would agree with you, it's not easily redeemable for Sneep. It's definitely not over.
Yeah, well, this is just a steep hill to climb, is what I really mean to say.
Yeah.
Would you say a Sneep hill to climb?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't like that one. Anyway,
Would work better if Sneep was in the lead, wouldn't it?
he had a pretty good arena fight, and he's making his way back. I don't know what he's doing with the death abuse there.
He's taking the death abuse there instead of doing 2 PDA side flips.
Yeah, I don't know. Going on to a really cool planet though, at least to watch. You're getting some good movement from Scotto though. He's having a great overall. His run's pretty good. Like minus like the 1 death on like Veldin and the slop on like Blackwater. He's having a pretty good run. It's pretty much he's popping off to say the least. That's why it's making it so hard for Sneepy to catch up.
Yeah. You really want to be capitalizing on the person who's ahead's mistakes, but it's hard when they just don't make any.
Yeah.
Yeah, quick shout out, by the way, to Render Whale in the chat for the $6.69 donation, bringing the total prize pool to $15.69.69. Very hilarious stuff. Thank you so much, Sandon.
Very cool. I did see you changing it, and I
Yeah.
had a little chuckle to myself.
But yeah, Scott having a very clean Iridia so far. I mean, making it all the way over, keeping that movement chain going towards the truck. Maybe not as swag as the frog truck, but still a very important truck all the same.
I do love the frog truck. I'm gonna be
The
honest,
second
but I
best
missed
truck in the game.
Is he going to get enough height there? Barely gets enough height to go over top the cutscene.
That was very sketchy. Potential for a big time loss on Iridia there. If you don't get high up enough with the ILJ, you can hit a cutscene trigger, which gives you a checkpoint. And that's no bueno. Like, that checkpoint is like a good 15 seconds of backtracking that you do not want.
Yeah, hanging on to his time or his lead by the skin of his teeth right there. Obviously, I think he would still be in the lead regardless of how things would be going on that. But you know, it's a big confidence booster to know that you need to hit certain strats to be able to keep a very big lead and then to hit them. You got to imagine Scott's feeling pretty good right now coming into the last section of this race.
Yeah.
Also, shout-outs to Dan the Enigma coming in with a $30 donation right now, rounding this out to $1,600 in total, $31.31. Thank you so much now. Or rather, thank you so much for that, Dan. Now we can say that this is officially a $1,600 tournament, which is kind of dope, if you ask me.
Very cool.
DP hits the chain, but he's a little too fast. Zooms past his ship. And we're looking at probably one of the scariest tricks Scotto is going to have to do into the late game, which is Bolt 1 on Fleet, which is going to be very, very scary. If he dies here, this is a pretty sizable time loss, and also like it's pretty easy to lose the chain here, and he's going pretty good so far.
He's going stroll, losing his speed there, which is unfortunate. But going straight down the middle now, you can get ledged in so many different places in the middle on Fleet. That was really balls to the wall there from Scotto. Not something I've seen people do a lot. But he's going to take the regular IJ over route, which is definitely a lot safer than trying to do it all with momentum. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise for Scotto that...
Oh, there it is. There it is. All right. Well, that is quite the death. And if he gets stuck on the chain here again, that's another sizable time loss for real. It's hard. It's just I'm just gonna watch because that's the most important part here. I'm gonna be honest.
This is intense right here.
Yeah, we need Scott to go for this again. If he takes another death here, then Sneepy's going to be breathing down his neck. He gets the momentum strat this time. Now we'll see if he can carry it all through and not hit the trigger again. Now that looks pretty safe to me. All he has to do is PDA side flip up to the bolt.
He's good now. He's good now.
Man, God bless PDA side flips.
Got the cutscene as well on Iridia that we were talking about earlier.
He got it?
Yeah, I think Nick said he got it.
He's gonna ride the pod back.
I think you can ILJ. I think it's faster.
I think, yeah, can't you do like ACM strats to ILJ back?
Yeah. The thing about the ledges on Iridia there is that it's really hard to get ILJs off them, and there's like only certain spots where you can do it. It's really irritating.
Scott will go in for the second important chain here. It's going to look rather familiar. I mean, obviously his feed is being a little spotty right now for both runners, as a matter of fact. Yeah, this chain is kind of interesting because it's like the NG Plus chain, but mirrored. You know, you're going the same way, doing the same sort of stuff, but you're going for a different pod. Scott's feed here. Let me try refreshing the cache on this.
Yeah, unfortunate. One of the flashier chains in the run, and an absolute slideshow for us there.
Yeah. All right, he's inside the ship. Oh my goodness gracious! I'm gonna wait to announce this one on the end of this particular segment of the run here. But we got a big one, a big announcement coming up for everybody in the near future.
Okay.
Just to whet your appetites. But yeah.
Tantalized.
I'm having some trouble on fleet in general now. Yeah. Failing the ground pound clip here, which
he wants to clip through the wall, and he seems to be having some trouble with it.
Yeah, I know Sneepy's actually a lot better at fleet now. I remember I used to back when he just started. Oh my gosh, Scotto could be taking some serious time loss. He finally
gets the clip. Yeah, but
so this is going to be a little closer of a race now. I still think Scotto's technically ahead by, they're synced up pretty much on bolts. But Scotto's still ahead by like what, a minute and a half still.
Like I wouldn't even call it that. I'd say about maybe 45 to a minute. I mean, Sneepy actually, I think during his race with me got fleet con gold, so he's definitely good enough at this split. I don't know if he got it during the race with me or if he got it like shortly afterwards. But anyway,
yeah, he got it during the race.
Who's completed this section of the game faster than anyone else ever has.
Yeah, we are looking at some real, maybe some nerves coming in from Scotto, and going into like plants like Kalibo. If he has problems with the chain, we could be looking at something pretty close. Maybe I just want to see.
I mean, I don't think either of these runners feels 100% comfortable right now. I'll just say that much. Personally, if I'm in either of their shoes, I don't feel good about the position that I'm in.
Yeah, it's going to come down to Kalibo movement. It's going to come down to Velden 2 movement. Scott are going for these bolts out of order. He's going to be losing some time there, and by that, of course, mean he loses no time. It's pure convention. Actually, I would say 80 to 90% of runners go for the other bolt first, but it makes no difference. Like, I don't know why everyone just does it one way first. It's very strange.
Everyone just assumes. It's one of those things where like everybody learns off like, oh, world record does it. It's like, so it's gotta be optimal, you know? So
yeah.
I still think he's about a minute and like change ahead easily now.
Yeah.
Sneepy still had a pretty solid fleet, but you know, we're into Kalibo now, so we'll have to see. Scotto could have some trouble with the chain here. This chain can be kind of painful for some runners if you don't build the right amount of speed. If you get stuck inside the building by like getting a bad input. Looks like he gets the chain. So
yeah, a fairly good chain from Scotto there. He's not going to be losing too much time, but having to do the backup, just getting the extra last bit of distance here with the thruster pack is definitely south of optimal. And you can see Sneepy coming on doing the same chain here. We'll see if he gives a better show. But of course he is a thick chick room behind Scotto, so it's not as close as he maybe looks now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is the final level now for Scottobozo. And Scotto's bolts are good. He doesn't have to catch up on bolts, so he's going to be fine there. And
yeah,
both down too.
Not having to worry about bolts at all for the rest of the run.
The only thing that could really, really mess him up is spawning direct now.
Yeah, that's a big one, because if you spawn Drek, you also get the checkpoint, which means that you're losing minimum a minute, like minimum. So if he gets that, Sneep can really catch up, and it's definitely something that you probably see him taking an extra wide line around the boss trigger, just to be a bit too safe. Because it's just not a mistake you want to make at the end of a run where you've been convincingly ahead the entire time.
It's getting close now. Scotto doesn't hit the chain, or at least I don't know if he doesn't go for it.
He didn't hit it, unfortunately. He went for it for sure, but just took a bit of a sour line, had a rough midair, and had to do a bunch of backups. But he did, however, earn some swag points back by buying the 6 ammo.
He did buy 6 ammo. Let's go.
Yeah, Sneepy knows it's do or die right now, so he will elect to not buy the ammo. He's gonna say, "Screw you, tradition," and just go for the.
He gets the chain as well. No, that's
wow.
Big. He's really just a bolt behind Scotto now. This is getting pretty close.
Oh my goodness.
Scotto losing his momentum there. So that's gonna be some extra time save for Sneepy.
Oh my goodness.
He's on 1 health. Is that?
This is so scary.
Oh my goodness! And that's I know he got to the bolt, but that's not over. He can get hit on the way over to the next one, and that would be huge. He really needs to be careful now. There's definitely a hit or two he could be taking here. He's opting to not PDA at all, and that is very smart. Because if you do PDA, you stop where you stand, and the enemies kind of get a free shot at you. Very smart from Scotto. Very clutch there to not die, and Sneep losing a bit of speed there as well now.
Too, but he's taking
again, we are way too close for
optimal.
comfort now in the last split.
Okay, Scotto.
Here we go. This is a do or die moment here.
Going around the trigger.
Going around the trigger. You can also void out if he's not careful. We are going to be IJing around a death barrier here. So he might, as you see, he might be going up quite a little high. And really now, this could just come down to Drek RNG. If we get Drek leaving the arena for Scotto, if we get good RNG for Sneep, it could make the difference.
Yeah. Wow.
It's not over till it's over. It really isn't. And I'm honestly, I'm a little almost flabbergasted. I'm just very very nervous about this.
Sneepy hitting a gorgeous movement chain here. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. Just.
They're both going to the arena at the same time. Obviously, Scott has a lead going into it. I mean, he's landing in the arena right now.
Could fall in too.
Sneep's gonna be praying for some good RNG on the final bus here. Not what you want to see, but not dreadful.
Yeah.
These guys can lag the game up a little bit, which is kind of annoying as you're moving because they can kind of mess your timing up on sort of getting
bomb.
Put bombs. That's good RNG.
Good.
He's gonna have 1 health bar down now.
Okay.
Most of the time as he gets to the trigger, you get a good head start.
It's going to be important here that Drek doesn't go out of the arena for him.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's over. Sadly. I mean, not sadly, but that will be it.
Wow.
That will be it.
That will be it.
Finishing
what?
With the 56. 56.
Oh, man, that came down to the wire. I mean,
That really did.
That's insane. Holy smokes. So close. I mean, and Sneepy getting a nearly perfect fight here as well, just to, maybe if anything, this is, I mean, obviously if you're Scott, you're happy that you won this, but I don't know if either of these runners are 100% content going to the next game knowing that it came down to being this close.
Yeah.
Still brutal on the nerves. Scott happy with his dub for now, but we're going to see whether Sneepy wants to counterpick to Size Matters or Todd here.
I feel like he's going to take Todd. I don't know what you guys think. I'm almost.
In my head, he goes for Todd. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Of course.
A second to calm down. That was nuts at the end. Holy shit.
Dude, this is. You know what? I was just asking for a close race, and that's pretty much what we got at the end there. That's awesome that we did eventually get a very close race. It wasn't close the whole time at all, but that ending was great.
I mean, that's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tab.
Oh no, I was just going to ask you, what is the announcement?
Oh, the announcement. So I'm going to go through this in order. We actually have 3 big announcements, if you can believe it. We've got Calat donating. I can't speak today. I don't know what's going on with me. Calat donating $94.20, rounding the total to 1694.20, which is a very based number, if you ask me.
I see what. Okay, I see what.
Yeah, now I see it. I wasn't seeing it for a second there because
But unfortunately, I had to announce it in this order because it is very swiftly going to get overwritten. There is a $50 donation coming in from C Dazer. Says love to all the RaC Champ runners, all of them. And then we have 1616 coming in from Render Whale. He says, I like the number 16. Don't judge. So
I mean, you can like whatever number you want. Thank you guys for all of those donations. That's absolutely crazy. Really just adding to the prize pot that all of our runners will be taking a share of. But these two really competing now for the biggest slice. Worth mentioning that I am one of those runners, so 15% of anything you donate to the stream today goes directly to me, which I'm very happy about.
Yeah.
Yes, we love lining the pockets of anybody, even British people on this stream, which
Gilbert Godfrey, of course.
And well, we don't have Delta Doid here, otherwise, All right, it looks as if the runners have decided on Todd. I gotta say, I think this was at least a little bit expected. If we pull up the player cards here, obviously, Sneepyy had the advantage in RaC 1, but he also has a Todd advantage and a relatively significant one there as well. So we're gonna
Todd vantage,
a Todd vantage, if you will. So of course Sneepy's gonna want to capitalize on that. He's gonna want to take a dub here, and I mean, it will. Assuming this goes to a game 3, Scott surely does not want this to go to a game 3. He wants to win right here and now. But I don't know how Sneepy's feeling knowing that he's going to have to rely on size matters to close it out. I personally really want to see it. I mean, these two literally have tied world record in size matters. And,
what an event to end on something like that too.
Yeah.
It would be a very poetic way to round out the tournament with tied world record holders racing for the dub. But I mean, if you're Sneepyy or if you're Scotto, you definitely don't want it going that way now.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes, we're on game 2 now. So Manto's gonna flip his hat. That way. Manto over there, he's gonna flip his hat now. And of course, if we get to game 3, I will reverse my hat as well. But we figured that the hats showcase a lot of tension. So and we're gonna get this out of here.
My character arc indicator,
Absolutely.
I've
With that hat
officially
flip.
become a biased caster for Sneepyy. So.
Well, I think a lot of us are very selfishly rooting for Sneepyy just so that we can see more gameplay.
Oh, absolutely.
So, just to be clear that it's nothing against Scottobozo personally. It's just that, this has been such a great event, and I don't think any of us want it to end without like as much nail-biting tension as humanly possible.
I'm rooting for Sneepyy just in general. You gotta support the home team. If the Brits don't look out for each other, who will?
That's very true, actually.
Definitely not me. That's for sure.
Yeah. The Americans on either end here, we don't give a shit.
I am truly in an American sandwich right now.
Maybe one of the worst sandwiches.
You are.
But yeah, so I'd love to see these runners practicing these difficult tricks all day, but we're on a schedule here, and the people want some action. They're hungry for it, so I'm going to ask the runners to cap the trick that they're currently working on and get ready to start it up. And while that's happening, I have 2 more donations to announce. We've got $9.33 coming in from Yo Andy. At least I'm assuming that's Yo Andy. It just says Yo, and with a comment that simply just says heh.
Could be Andy.
Could be.
I don't know if that's Yo Andy.
Does it make the total funny? It was an extremely weird amount to donate. If it didn't.
I believe it does, actually. It makes it $17.69.69.
Let's go. How many times are we going to do this over?
But then, of course, we have $15.64 coming in from Render Whale. Of course, we have conflicting donations. They had different ideas. And it just says, your message here. Thank you both so much. Oh, yeah, let me do this. 1564, I swear I can add. 69 plus 24 is 123. Add a 70 onto that, or make that 70, and then it'll be 85 total. I can do quick maths. It's been a while, but I've still got it. All right, so it seems like Scott is ready to go here. He's on Kerwan. Sneepy's finding a clean Kerwan file as well. Tab, if you would like to do the countdown for this one, I know how much you love this game.
Oh, it's my favorite game, yeah. I will do the countdown just as soon as Sneep's 10 seconds are up and he gets to load another file again.
Just wanted to check and see if that was a clean file, so all good.
Yeah.
He's gonna probably
You
make...
hate to get a false start.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
DQ'd.
Shoutouts to Marathon Man for reminding me to change the theme here. Now we got the deep blue going on.
Ooh.
All right.
Change.
By all means, Tab, whenever you're ready.
Okay, we'll be starting our Todd race, the last one, in 3, 2, 1, go. And I would be remiss if I didn't make the same joke we've been making all tournament. We're off to a blistering start as we wait 10 seconds for anything to happen.
It's a classic. Frankly, I don't want this tournament to end without you making that joke at some point.
Had to be done. We're off in Cohen here, where our runners will be attempting the most volatile trick of the run that can really decide the fate of races. And from the outset, we're going to be looking for a clip at the end of Cohen that if they get onto the rail at the same time is going to add tension to the butt cheeks of all involved.
Yeah, this is quite the planet to start on for real. It makes this game kind of difficult for new runners to get really a hold of, and you know we're losing Sneepy's game feed. Of course,
what a time to lose the feed! Oh, and it comes back with high fidelity. Was that you resetting the cache?
That was me resetting the cache.
Hey, we love
both of our runners getting the clip, which is the difficult part.
Wow, both of them getting that.
Scott with a very tiny advantage, but both of them getting through Cohen first try. You love to see it in the final.
It's not fully over yet, just in case. Who knows if they'll do something foolish at the last second.
Sneepy going for that hyper strike.
Both of them will be taking it safe here, and both of them on the rail pretty much at exactly the same time, as far as I could tell.
This is pretty much tied.
Doing a little wave.
Are you kidding me?
This is insane.
Wave back, chat. Wave back.
Yeah, we gotta all make sure that we're all waving back. It's purely out of respect for the runners. Look at this. This is true dedication to the craft.
You really didn't want to see anything else out of Cohen in this race than two back-to-back first tries. Cutscene at the same time. It's picturesque, Sam. It's picturesque.
My God.
This is amazing.
Like, synced up.
Look at this.
I mean, one has significantly more frames than the other one, but you get the idea.
One was recorded in 2007.
Look, they're literally tied.
Yeah, they are exactly tied here. I mean, like possibly even within like a tenth of a second here. This is kind of insane. Scott coming out of it, I'm sorry, Sneepy coming out of it just a little bit sooner. Maybe that's some sort of, I don't know if there's any variance on the load or what exactly happened there, but he's.
There are load variants.
I think Scotto took it a little bit safer on the movement post clip than Sneepy did. But I mean, they definitely hit the rail at pretty much the same time. So I guess, yeah, that maybe there's a tiny load variance, but not that much to make a difference. And we're going to be seeing them moving through Kabalia here.
I'm going to refresh the cache here again. The unfortunate thing about this game feed is that, once again, for those of you just joining us, we are using OBS Ninja to handle all of this stuff today. And while we are very grateful for our free programs, the unfortunate downside of free programs is that they don't always work the way you need them to work, especially under high-stress situations like having 4 different OBS Ninja feeds going on at the same time. But Sneepy developing a bit of a lead here. He's got a little bit of cleaner movement coming out of this section in Kobalia right here, the jungle section.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. After being the sort of person we were talking about during the last game with a little bit cleaner movement and not being able to sort of make a point about that, I think he's a little bit more determined to show what he's made of here in the second game.
Yeah.
Because he's definitely the slight favorite here as well.
He's sizable, like decent lead here, like about 10 seconds plus. So that's pretty good for Sneepy starting off. I did want to ask Tab, you probably know about the bolt checks here. What is our bolt check coming up?
So both of our runners have decent bolts at the moment. It really doesn't matter that much on Kobalia. It really matters more when you get to Fastoon, which is where you get the majority of your bolts. And now the bolt check into Fastoon, where you can't really go wrong, is 24. If you have anything, well, 25 ideally, but if you have anything more than 24, you're usually fine. And it's really mostly about the movement when you get the ×2 crate. on Fastoon, if you lose that early or die, then you can be looking at a bolt hit that's going to take you some time to recover. You don't really collect many like bolts going into it.
Oh no!
Scotto taking a death there.
Sneepy's got a lead coming into it. Are we allowed to say it, Sam?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank Christ, man. I held back saying something earlier, and now I can finally say.
I wanted to talk about cum all day, and here we are in the cum factory.
Thank God, man. All right, Sneepy's going into the cum factory, and he gets the death abuse, which I know he's been struggling with the jump here, so I am worried for him a little bit here. So we'll have to see.
Well,
how he goes.
it's funny. I've seen in a lot of oh yeah, Scott. Whoa,
he's gonna take another death.
Oh, wow, actually. No.
That's so strange.
You usually clip between the two sort of cum blobs there, but it looked like that his positioning on the first one on the ground wasn't great, and it kind of slid out from under him as he was moving, which just caused him to clip through the floor instead.
So
unfortunate for Scotto. Sneepy's going to be extending his lead again.
Yeah, and it's actually funny, Manto. I mean, you were saying that Sneepy has had a bit of trouble with that one bounce that he ended up hitting not too long ago. It's very funny. In every single practice run I've ever seen him do this game, he's messed up that same exact spot that you were talking about, but he has yet to fail it in a tournament run. He's hit it.
No, and that's the thing, is that just like sometimes there's tricks like that. Like I know in 100% right now, like race skip. I will fuck it up like 100 times in practice, and then I'll first try it in a run. I'll just be like, you know what? I am not good at this still, and I'm not going to admit to be good at this. But the data is showing incorrect numbers, to say the least. So
yeah, it's always a weird one when you. It's always a weird one when you have a high hit rate on a trick you're not comfortable with, because you feel like you're being blessed, but at the same time it's like, am I just that good? I don't know. It doesn't feel like I am.
You feel like you're being lied to, like you're being led astray, and then the one time you get a god run, it's not gonna work, and you're gonna be like, I knew it. They played me for a fool. You know?
Yeah.
Nothing more than just like, you know.
Yeah, Sneepy. We were talking about kind of like little bane of his in the cum factory there, but I think Quartog is really where he's going to be the most nervous about. If anyone remembers his race with me, he sacrificed a lot of time here on his wall bounce that he has a lot of trouble with.
I think he's been labbing the hell out of it though ever since that match. Yeah. I mean,
if you're Sneepy, you've got to be nervous at least until you're past there.
Yeah.
Just in case I would turn off his audio if it's on, because if he's missing it, he's going to destroy everybody's ears.
Yeah, he's going to hyperstrike. I'll have to be reactionary, although it's kind of difficult to see because everything's happening in so few frames.
Yeah, so it's not this first one that he just got.
Nails it. Yeah, but
it's not this first one, the one that he has problems with. It's the one after the vault that you'll see him get now. That he died a couple of times too during that last race. So if he hits that, well, we're gonna have a very happy Sneepy, I'll tell you that.
And I know that Scott has had some relatively uncharacteristic deaths so far this run, but I also just want to kind of let everyone know at home that, like, honestly, I'm not too terribly surprised by that, because when you it's sort of like the same adrenaline rush that happens after you get a really, really sick PB or a world record or something like that.
Yeah, it's coming down from the adrenaline.
Yes, exactly.
And there it is for Sneepy. He gets it.
Took him a few tries, but he ended up getting there eventually, and that's all that matters.
I saw him missing it a couple of times. I mean, that's obviously not the worst way you can fail it. You can straight up die there if you mess that up.
Is this the low? Did Scott get the low shock Ravager?
He did. Maybe like a 1 in 5 of that happening, in my estimate. It saves a little bit of time. Not too much, but he's definitely closed his lead on Sneepy here, I think. They're only about a bolt
apart. Let's get a time check. So he grabs the bolt at 8:19. Let's compare when Scotto gets it, so we can get a sense of how it's going.
Scotto taking the death there, just as we were saying Sneepy was having problems with it. Sneepy be the one to go through, and that's going to be a huge lead extension for Sneepy now as Scotto goes all the way back to the start of the level. Yeah,
that's rough. Of course, Sneepy's not out of this by any means, similar to how... there was still room for error when Scott was ahead in RaC 1. The same is obviously true here. I mean, it's not as if the rest of this game is any sort of walk in the park. But that is going to be good for Sneepy's confidence coming into this. And Scott, he was already behind. You hate to see it, but now he's kind of got that leeway to start going for stuff a little bit more YOLO than maybe he would previously. And we'll see how that works out for him. you know, obviously there's a level of mental game that does go into this, and both of these runners are going to want to make sure. So unfortunate from Scott.
No. All right, well, this is looking not good for Scotto now. That is 2 huge deaths, and I don't know how much Shock Ravager ammo costs, but I don't know if that would.
Yeah, it's not that much.
I was just hoping his bolt count wouldn't be bad either. Looks like Sneepy is.
I'm gonna try refreshing his cache again. This is getting ridiculous, Sneepy. I don't know what's going on with your game feed. You got some shit to work out.
With Scott taking that second death, though, we're looking at game 3, all the more probable.
Yeah.
Which obviously is good for you.
Let's hope he gets it this time, though.
Yeah, it's still. There's still Voron to go. You know, there's still. I'm just thinking there's still plenty left here.
All right. Looks like he gets it.
Yeah, so he's going to be able to get past Kortog now. You know.
I'm nervous for both of them, man.
So am I. Yeah.
It really is.
I mean, it's really going to come down to what Quark RNG they get right here, and Sneepy with the fresh Quarkanopolis.
Yeah, hate to see the Quarkanopolis. A tournament favorite, I think, but not the runner favorite.
Yeah,
I love a Quarkowski in the RaC community.
Yeah, of course. The Greeks in the chat are popping off right now.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll see. Once Scott ends up getting his way over to Fastoon, we'll see if the Quark RNG can equalize any of this a bit. Sneepy coming up now. He's finishing up the main overworld section of Fastoon. Of course, now he has to take care of GGS, get the final 2 flight components.
Oh my god.
And just
GGS is going to be scary as well.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable if I'm either of these runners going into GGS, especially given the nature of the trick.
I feel like Sneepy is going to be fine, if I'm going to be honest. I don't know why. I just got a good feeling about Sneepy. I feel like he might, I don't know. He's been pretty consistent at it when I was watching. So
you're putting some foul energy into the air here, man.
You can lose a lot of time in it if it gets in your head. It's definitely a very mental-based trick. But it looks like Sneepy's got a really good setup here. I think he's just waiting for the time.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
GGS.
Yeah. I just had a good feeling. I don't know what to say.
Straight up. As if to say, fuck you, Manto.
Whoa! I was on his.
Yeah, you were maybe putting in some nerves there. That I feel like when as someone who's been on both ends, I always hate when people talk about how consistent you are at something before you attempt it.
You know what? Then I won't be nice to him. Yeah, he's gonna come up on this trick.
Yeah, he sucks.
He kind of sucks at this one, actually. So maybe he'll hit it despite me.
I also just want to give a quick shout out to Scottobozo for holding it together, putting on a good show right here, and nothing too fancy has happened thus far in this Fastoon, but you know that he's going to want to make some waves here, earn some of that time back against Sneepy. So he's going to be schmooving through the rest of this, and this is a chance. If I'm Scott, in a way, it's not the worst thing ever to know you're behind in game 2. You've got the buffer of game 1. And at this point, you can kind of just play balls to the wall. If stuff works, then fantastic. You save some time, and if not, well, you were behind anyway. So maybe this is kind of what Scott needs to kind of build up his confidence in his gameplay a little bit. Whether or not he can, whether or not this goes to a game 3.
All right, let's check the Quark RNG real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
I missed it. I think it came up already, and I missed it.
What?
I mean, sure, the chat will know.
Chat, hurry.
Yeah, we need to know right now.
Both of our runners messing up the upgrade skip there, which is unfortunate. I mean, it doesn't really lose that much time, but it's just something that
he got Finnegan Quarks a lot.
Got Quarks a lot. I feel like that's very. I think that's kind of the medium tier one.
Yeah,
that feels like an F tier to me. I don't like that one.
Now, that's a death for Scotto, but not a very costly one. He's just going to have to do the movement over to the pipe again.
It's kind of equidistant almost, he's coming at it from different angles.
Yeah, I think if you didn't collect a couple bolts on the way over, it might even be faster. But he's going to need to get some extra bolts here. He's looking at, again, as I say, he's got 24. You get about 10.5 in the auto scroller. So even if he doesn't get any more bolts on his way to the last one back's flight part, he's not going to lose that much time on Muckout. I think you get this kind of rails on the way over, and they can sometimes just drop loads of bolts for no reason. It's really dumb. You're seeing him go for GGS now.
Ooh, this is looking good.
Yeah, there he goes. Let's
gonna say there it goes.
Yeah. This trick is so funny because I feel like over the course of the tournament, I understand exactly what a good GGS looks like, but like I feel like no one knows how to replicate this. Like when
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how the runners feel as well.
There's a kind of way that you like rub on the rock where like if Clank's not like sliding off to the left or the right, you know you're gonna get it. It's just a matter of when. Like the annoying thing with GGS is when you can't get him in that state where you can like tap forward to make him glide up, which is like your attempt at GGS, and then like he can glide down like a little bit so you can just try it again. Like once you've got to that state where you're kind of like rubbing up on the rock, not stood up but not falling down, then you're gonna get it. It's just how long it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But getting into that state, that's me. I just kind of jump and hope.
Ooh. I don't know what I oohed at actually. I was just trying to get excited about something on
We should just do that at random points, just to like make people think they're missing out on something.
Yeah, just be like, oh shit! Like, Sneepy just went for that. That's actually fucking crazy, and then just like not explain it.
You know, Sneepy, he's got. You're seeing a pretty sizable. You're seeing the depth of his sizable advantage coming in here now. He's already in the Clank section of the auto scroller, which is more than halfway into it, if I'm remembering correctly. Or at least towards the back end of it. I know he's got like maybe one gold bolt node left to hit here. It's kind of tough to tell.
Who knows if he's even hit them?
Yeah, we can't really tell here given the amount of frames that are happening per second. It's a little tough.
Well,
but
if the dialogue box comes up when he hits the next one, then he's
golden. Yeah.
Might not be able to read the text, but we'll be able to tell the box came up.
I kind of like the effects now at this point.
Yeah,
I'm digging
like
that
LSD
green
shit, right?
glob that's going across the screen. I'm having fun.
It's very Quest for Booty. I don't know if either of you know this, but Quest for Booty is plagued by the amount of green it
There
has.
is the dialogue box. So Sneep getting the gold bolt that he needs to close this run out.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Sam?
Oh, I was just saying that Quest for Booty is extremely green for no real reason. The speedrun is 20 minutes and roughly 30% of the game is totally green. Just a big hue of it. Which is, of course, awful to look at. Actually, it's probably more than that. I'd say it's probably 6 minutes out of the 20. So, you know, just channeling...
It's a green game for some reason.
Yeah.
People try to make the argument that RaC 2 is very blue, and I don't see that at all. I'm gonna be
RaC
honest.
2 RaC 2 is extremely blue.
Yeah.
Not blue. Like, we've been through this.
I'm on tab side.
It was like the HUD.
Yeah, we have been through this, and the blue sayers are correct.
No. You know what? Maybe the only thing blue you're seeing is like a disconnected game feed, you know?
The score is settled on RaC 2's color. Ouya is also like green or orange, or like
It's
brown.
orange.
That's
like decided.
I'm gonna be real with you. Like, don't even try to give Ouya that much credit. It's like only orange.
It is a very orange game.
It is an orange game.
They really went all in on like poop orange.
Yeah.
It's just the HUD color we're talking about, if I'm being honest. Like,
The color are just a lot of levels too. I want to say. I feel like.
Tyrannosis, that's a big one. Marcadia.
Yeah.
very orange.
Tyrannosis,
A lot of primary as
Marcadia. That's about it. But you know, I'd still say it's pretty orange otherwise.
Yeah, but you know, of course, some of these games just have that. Like, for example, Rift Apart is literally that one Eric Andre sketch where he says, "What if it were purple?"
Yeah, you know what? That game is mostly purple, but like I feel like most of the purple comes from like just the portals and the Rhino. Like everything else is like pretty. Like the Rhino is so purple, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
It
that's
is the
extremely
most purple
true.
Thing in the planet. I don't want to spoil anything just in case somebody's like, play yet. But like, yeah, it's pretty purple. That's about it. I'm not even sure why they added this claim section. I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, it just makes the auto-scroller longer, which is something that, you love to see as a speedrunner. It gives us more time to talk about basically nothing. But I suppose we could talk about Sneep now being on Mucka with charge boots.
Can you refresh the game feed?
Yeah, I'm gonna refresh it once again. We're trying our best here at RaC Champs.
I feel like that works most of the time, at least for like a few minutes.
It does the job.
It's kind of. But yeah, it looks like Sneepy's just playing well, to say the least. Like, while we're not watching, he's kicking some ass.
Yeah, not a lot of huge time loss places on Muckout, to be honest. I feel like if you're losing time, you're losing like 15 seconds. Well, 10 to 15, like at most. But obviously, when I say that, there is the arena, which you can die on, which loses significant time. But I think Sneepy will be taking the arena a little safer than he usually would. We have seen runners die and lose leads during this tournament in that arena. So I think Sneepy is going to be playing
the leader, I mean the arena champion there, really ran away with it by just having a good arena. So it is a good place to lose or save time, and hopefully Sneepy will have a good one. So will Scotto. There's not much to say about what Scotto's doing right now. He's spinning around in a circle right now. It's really fun. But so we just have Sneepy to gas up for our current here time. Do you know if his bolts are good or his Raritanium's good?
He wouldn't be. The Raritanium doesn't make a huge difference, actually. It's just something that's kind of nice to have. Really, it's just kind of like damage and spread throughout the arena. I believe Killer says that the spread's actually bad to have. I don't know why. But Sneep getting all the upgrades that we usually get here. Also getting Killer in the chat, telling me to, I guess now that Mucker is no longer in the tournament, resort to the other Muckcow pun, which is Moo Cow. He seems to be posting some cow emojis in the chat as well. So there we go, Killer, I said it.
Killer, of course, the spiritual guide for all these runners as they were learning Todd. It's him and Torpedo. I believe it was the two of them kind of trying to help out everybody else, help them learn what they were doing wrong, what certain things to avoid. This is it's not the most difficult Ratchet and Clank game you'll ever see in your entire life, but it is certainly one of the trickiest and most specific as far as things you can and cannot do.
There's a lot to learn, and I think that's just the tale for both of these games coming up here. Size matters. Maybe a 4-minute speed run, but golly, there is a lot of things to mess up and a lot of things to learn, and they're so different from the OG games. So getting these sort of these people that haven't put a lot of time into either of these to learn these in such a short amount of time and get so good at them is the most impressive thing from these two runners, is how quickly they can learn and adapt and play these games, because they have pretty much no prior experience in these games.
Yeah.
I think the only people that had prior experience went into like RaC 1 blind, so
yeah,
that's a no-no.
That was
to say the least.
Kind of the mission statement of what we were hoping to achieve here with this tournament, is that to really get people out of their comfort zones.
Yes.
So I think, if I remember correctly, the original cast of games was RaC 1, Todd, and going mobile. And there was only one person in the entire community who had experience in all three games. That's Mobius. But, even if Mobius had decided to participate in that original format, I mean, it's not as if it was going to be a blowout, because, there was still what I mean to say is nobody is particularly strong at all the games here. And of course we had to swap out going mobile for Size Matters. So it really was, the idea was to have it be anybody's game. Anybody who came in, worked the hardest, put in the hours, and really just clutched up and showed up for when it came down to crunch time. Scott, unfortunately, taking a bad angle, but going for it anyway, regardless. Big respect to at least trying. Not yet.
No, Scott is on his way to the arena.
Then, yeah. Sneepy's, is this the second to last planet? I don't know much about Todd, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Sneepy's in Nundak, really like spiritually the last planet in this run, and we're looking for Nundak wall bounce, really, to be kind of the decider of this race as we imagine it to close out. Really, as soon as Sneepy gets that wall bounce, barring a crash that I think by this point everyone really knows how to avoid, it will be game 3 that we're looking at.
Yeah, I'm going to try to refresh the cache one more time here. And then I'm going to, once I refresh it from here, I'm going to officially declare myself no longer the problem.
Okay, so he'd be taking a death on the wall bounce.
Yeah, unfortunately not getting it.
He's got more than a handful of attempts at it, so probably not too nervous. He's going back to the Ventify ammo. You do really need all your Shock Ravager ammo here. And there it is, yeah, second try, I believe.
Beautiful, yeah.
You're going to be seeing him shock all the way up to the out-of-bounds section here, where he's going to be just hitting the end of the level, and then going out to the victory lap that is the last planet. You really just kind of bounce over to the bolt and pick it up to close the run out.
Yeah, well, he could always crash. I mean, I don't think he will, but
Yeah, it is possible to crash here, but it's kind of one of those things that you have to, with what we kind of understand about it now, it's like you have to either fudge your inputs really hard or just not be paying attention. And I think Sneepy will be paying attention pretty heavily as he attempts it.
Yeah.
This might be the most leisurely end of Nundak you've ever seen in your entire life. He's gonna want to make sure that he's like got everything laser focused, lined up.
There it is, no crash. Oh, but he is gonna have to attempt it again. But there you go, no crash. The crash comes if you hyperstrike and don't cancel your hyperstrike with the swim animation. But as far as I'm aware, it actually only occurs on certain spots on the ground. So it might not even be possible with where he stood. I'm not actually sure I know enough about it. But if he gets this whip under the thing here...
Yeah, it's looking like he's about to wrap this up.
I'm getting really scared there for
and
pretty much
that really will be it. Bossum explosive diarrhea.
And thank you, Tab. Thank you for keeping the tradition strong. Yeah, so we see Scott here just finishing up the arena. I mean, we didn't get the chance to talk about the big frog, but at least we get to see a reappearance here on Scott's stream as Sneepy finishes up here on our Dolus. Yeah, so it's looking like we're going to game 3 here. I don't think either of these runners wanted this to go down this way. I don't think either of them are particularly happy with this.
We talked about how solidly Sneep's been playing overall throughout this run, but he will be closing out at 25 here, which is a minute inside his PB.
Yeah.
And really only 20 seconds behind Scotto's, so a very convincing display from Sneepy at the end there, 25.50.
Turn off the system.
And Scotto going, no point in playing it out. It's not as if he needs the extra Todd experience for later runs. It's time to focus. These two runners are going to go all in here on Size Matters. And
all in on Size Matters as you turn your cap around, Zen.
As
that we are indeed on game 3.
It's time, gamers. Let's do this. Hold on, let me. I'm having a bad hair day today.
When it's all over, we gotta throw our hats off, right?
Yeah, it's like graduation all over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let me even up the set count here. Let me pull up the score.
For donations.
Oh yes, let me see if there are any donations that came through. It is 1-1 as we move on to game 3. We're gonna give these runners a second to set all their stuff up. We're gonna take here. I'm gonna pull them off the screen here while they set everything up. And let me pull up. Let me actually do this one real quick. I like this little layout. This is a fun one. We've got. Let me see. Were there any other donations that came in? There were a few. We had $11.73 coming in from Darnex1998. That says 96 over 69. So that is, if I'm remembering correctly, or if I'm, logically, 1796.96. Very hilarious stuff. We've got 1546 coming in from Takumo with a donation message that reads penis but louder. We have $1 coming in from Brazil that says, my wife's boyfriend is sitting on my lap giggling at Manto's goofy comments XD. What a guy.
Thank you, Das.
And finally, we have $1.38 coming in from Rez that says...
Not Das.
We have $1.38 coming in from Rez that says, simply buy a Haribo, Sneepy. I don't know how popular Haribo is in the UK.
Middling.
Okay.
We've heard of it over here, for sure.
Yeah, I know that's more of like a Central European thing, if I'm remembering correctly. Like, I've seen it a lot. Well, it's not Central, but I've seen it a lot in France.
Go to a shop here and get a little bag of Haribo.
Okay. Dill says it's German. Okay, so I wasn't too far off the mark.
Haribo is pure UK, apparently.
Let me actually tabulate all this. I don't feel like doing the mental math right now.
Around the corner from our Melcon, the Haribo factory, where all the Haribos are.
Hey, there's some crazy skips in there.
Don't mind me, just doing some one tabulations.
Nice.
I like that.
I was saying earlier that I really do appreciate this scene because this is kind of the physical manifestation of where I place myself in the Ratchet hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice to see that represented physically.
I think that's it's funny that I think there are so many runners who, like, I just love that our community is so great about calling each other trash as often as possible. Like,
on Mondays, baby.
yeah,
We are very wholesome, to say the least.
yeah. At least but I mean, like, it's a very like familial thing to do it like to each other face to face. Like that's the fun of it, is like being able to shit talk each other. It gets a little weird when that happens in communities where people aren't necessarily close or talking to each other. But here in the RaC community, I feel like we've gotten a lot closer as a community as of late. And so the shit talk has started beginning once again. The pendulum swung the other direction.
There's definitely been shit talk in the past that wasn't necessarily friendly in nature. So it's nice to see that now we're all talking shit on each other, but in a much nicer way.
Yeah,
I've never been in a community of people that constantly dunks on each other, but is like such strong friends.
Mostly the Italians, though. But otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, we do have this weird thing where we just like shit on people exclusively for being Italian.
Well, if they would stop
That
having all the
sounds
RaC 1
bad,
world
that sounds
records, then
bad.
maybe they'd get dunked on less.
That sounds bad, but like, listen. They've ruined RaC 1 for too long.
Well, while these runners are finishing, oh god, damn it!
Anto's dead.
I could just keep doing this over and over if I wanted to. Let me pull these runners out of here for a second. I do want to pull up their player cards. For those of you unaware, these two are going down to a Game 3 in Size Matters, where both of them have the world record. They are both tied at world record with a 3:49, and we exclusively agreed before this game happened, before this whole set began. The runner said, well, what if this comes down to long loads? And we decided that we are going to factor out long loads should that be a problem. So we're going to have to keep track of that. I'm not 100% sure how to do it in this game, but I know that they're 3-second long loads.
It's gonna be time check. I don't know if they're consistently 3 seconds. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to tell.
Okay.
At least on Sneep, actually on both of ends, if they got long loads going into, is it Caledon, the second planet, or is it Rylus? I can't remember. The second planet at least. But yeah, we might have to go back to the tape.
Okay.
Maybe our runners can tell us after the fact as well, because they all obviously have timers, which will be able to tell them a bit easier.
Yeah. So we're going to have to see here. Ideally, I mean, I think it would be fucking awesome if it came down to that. If it came down to needing to count the long loads to see who's the winner, that's a great problem to have. So we're going to see how this goes. I hit the shortcut to make it go away, but apparently that did not work. So there we go. Smooth transitions. Once again, I like to give a shout out to all the people who have put so much time and effort. Before we get into this final game, there are so many people I think deserve praise and thanks. Massive shout outs to, first off, to the two commentators here joining me today. It's been a pleasure to have you guys. And Tab, of course, I want to give an extra shout out to for being a participant, putting his heart on the line, making it all happen.
Everyone at RaC 1.
Absolutely. A colossal, I don't even know if there's a shout out big enough in the world to give to Stack Design for what he's done for this tournament. If you've enjoyed the layouts, the transitions, the all of the visual stuff that you've seen here today, like being able to move all this here, I can get this out of the way. It all just looks crisp and clean. The stinger transitions, it has all been done by one person, Stacked Design in the chat. I know he's here right now because he just donated to the prize pool. So
I've been saying it all tournament long, but it really does not, you can't say it enough. This guy has put so much work into this, and the final result just looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw in my appreciation as well.
Absolutely.
Incredible work.
I'd also like to give some love to the people who have worked more behind the scenes. Now, some of you saw Sippy, some of you saw Andy, and some of you saw Nick. Not only did they commentate this tournament and help out on that front, but they were also, the five of us, me, Sippy, Raf, Nick, Andy, were the five people who kind of worked to throw all this together. And so I'd be remiss to not give them the biggest shout out in the world, because they put so much hard work and effort into this, not just helping to put this all together, but also in the community outreach and getting people interested in taking care of all the little stuff. So all this stuff could not happen without them. So massive shout outs to them as well. And of course, all the runners, not just One Tab, but the other runners as well. I don't know why I called you One Tab. That was weird. But regardless, to the 5 runners, to Tab, to Sneepy, to Scotto, to Mucka, and Izzy, thank you all so much. It really has been, honestly, this has been, it's been shocking how awesome this tournament has been. I think a lot of us had high expectations going into this, but I think this really blew all expectations out of the water, regardless of what people thought.
Yeah, and since you can't say it yourself, I guess one of the biggest shouts really needs to go to you for making this thing happen in the first place. You've done a great job just organizing the tournament, stressing over audio problems with everyone else every day, and all the stuff that you've done together, including putting up for the prize pool and everything like that. I think we need to give them a massive congrats for doing this as well.
Well, thank you.
That's important to mention.
I appreciate that.
I don't think I should clap. It's kind of awful sounding, but yeah, I'll do it with my mind. Oh,
thank you.
I sent one over.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But of course, I also, again, I can't believe I forgot to say this originally. Shout outs to all of you who have donated, who have watched, who have chanted, rooted on the runners. This tournament would be meaningless. It would just be a bunch of people screaming into an empty void without all of you here to watch it. So whether you've only been watching today or you've been watching the entire thing, we just appreciate having you all here. It really has been such a joy. But with that all out of the way, it's time to pull up the runners and see where we're at here. They're getting in, of course, practicing the 2 things they need to practice more than anything else.
I'm nervous. Don't give them any more practice time. I want to see someone mess it up.
My hands, knowing that I guess this is the best way it could have happened. Game 3 size matters, but knowing we're doing this, I am so sweaty. I'm not playing. There's nothing, like my window's open. I am sweaty. My hands are shaking. Like this is just the absolute tension that the end of this tournament deserved, and we see them both practicing. Yeah, as I can only imagine how both of our runners are feeling, knowing what's on the line here now.
Oh my goodness!
The bird and the golem.
That bird is worth like what, $300 now at this point, just like alone. So like, be scared, runners.
Yeah, I'd be pooping my pants if I were both of you.
Yeah, if I were you, I would be really scared and nervous and sweaty.
I have a huge. Oh wait, yeah. Thank you for reminding me, Dorothy. We have to turn on the hue here. I have a massive announcement.
Oh, look at this! This is nice. Stack design is really just fucking insane.
Dude, Roth is cracked. If you guys ever need
cracked design,
cracked design, yeah. If you're ever looking for a name change, Roth. Yeah. If any of you ever need any sort of help when it comes to layouts or crazy ridiculous animations, Roth is the guy. Not only is he incredibly good at this, but he gets stuff churned out like clockwork. I think he put this all together in like a week or two. And stress tested it all himself, like figured out all the moving parts. And meanwhile, he was also still doing video editing work and everything else on top of that. So he is a workhorse and a half. But yeah, of course, I have one gigantic announcement. Now you may be asking, what is the announcement? I'm about to tell you.
What is the
we have coming in from Nautical Turtle a $200 donation.
Holy shit.
With that the donation message simply just reads Tourney.
What a guy. What a guy. That's very nice of you.
That is massive. Putting the prize pool over $2,000. This is a 2K tournament. I can't believe it, honestly.
That's really hype. That's really hype. And now that means that bird is worth even more.
Yeah, even more, baby.
So hit the bird skip if you want money, to say the least.
Yeah, for real.
That means first place now is just north of $800. I really had to do that on a calculator.
So what is second?
Second, we're being 25. Second being 25 is someone's going to have done this before I can figure out on the calculator. So 2 times 1.25 is $500. So $500 minimum for
So
yeah,
the
it
bird
really
is
is just a
literally
quarter,
worth like
isn't it?
300, right? I don't even remember the first number. I'm gonna be honest. So yeah, hitting bird skip worth a lie here. So don't
Yeah, so the bird is currently worth about $300, which is pretty insane.
Hey,
Should I
could you
restart
imagine
my
like being a
internet?
developer and just adding that onto the map and just being like, someday this will be worth $300? Like that's really like a bizarre like butterfly domino effect type thing.
Sneepy said something about us shutting up.
Should I
He has to
restart
restart
my
it.
internet?
It,
Because it's just bad.
yes, I would say we can kill a couple minutes here. Just do what
Give
you
me
got to
2
do.
minutes, then.
That's fine.
Only two.
We're going to accommodate this mostly just because we want the runners to be in as comfortable a headspace as possible going into game 3. The last thing Sneepy needs to worry about right now is just random internet issues, potentially obfuscating the clarity of his gameplay and like how, you know, especially if we're going to have to count out long loads at some point, we may need to actually go through the feed there. So it's just better for everybody.
Yeah, the worst case scenario really is a feed going out and then having to take someone's word that they got a long load.
Oh, yeah.
With 300.
Sorry, go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
Oh, it's just you know, I mean, it's just going to be like, yeah, it definitely makes sense. And as you say, it's like, it's not something you want to be worrying about if you're Sneepy. Just having to like look over and make sure you're still broadcasting correctly.
Yeah.
When you know you're going to be playing it out at the same time.
Local recording as well, just in case.
Yeah,
Sure.
that'd be great if your computers can handle it.
Absolutely not.
But yeah, so I also want to give a shout out because I briefly mentioned this before. Roth did donate $5.20, which rounded this out to an even 2020.
Oh, ain't that cute? But you put it $1 more, please.
Oh, we're actually well, I can do one better than that. Dill Wingo donates $5. He says Team Tab for life.
Thanks. I'm really going to take. Here's how Tab can still win.
Believe it or not, you're lining Tab's pocket with this money. Technically, so
I mean, I get what 15%.
you are supporting Tab in an indirect way somehow.
Yeah, you made $1.25 from that, I think. Am I wait?
Hopium.
What's the you said 15%? Yeah, $1.25 off of that, off of Dill Wingo right
Wow.
Let's go.
there. Crazy how that
What
works.
did I get from a Twitch sub, man?
And dollar and change.
Yeah, it's better than what you get out of those like Turkish subs now. I forget.
Yeah. You're really, sometimes I'll get like a sub from like somewhere, and it'll just be like, oh, dude, thank you, and I'll go check, and it's be like 60 cents. It's like, what? What do you mean? He paid like $8. Where's all the money going, man? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I've been seeing a recent wave on Twitter of people being extremely angry at Twitch for taking half of all the sub money, and frankly, I'm about it. You know, I think there's a lot of content creators who deserve a lot more love.
Yeah.
Going for the Looney Tunes clip.
The
The
One where they have a little chase scene here. Scooby Doo, whatever you want to call it.
All right, I prefer to call it the Yakety Sax clip.
So at this point, we're gonna wait until Scott gets out of here. I kind of want to watch. This is giving me like Boomerang flashbacks.
Yeah, I'm just like hypnotized by it for some reason.
Yeah.
It's such a good thing that we've got a consistent setup now. But not,
And who found
it's
that
very-
again?
Oh, I can't remember. Some guy, like, 2 newspaper.
You
No,
used
I
to
can't
be a
remember.
moderator or something.
Yeah, I think I used to be mod, right? That's
Yeah.
not a joke. I don't think someone's gonna get.
Yeah, that's not. We've made quite a few jokes that are just like no one's gonna get. Like someone in the chat's just like laughing, but they're just like, I don't know why we're laughing. I just like having good times, you know.
Yeah.
While we're here, shouts to Sneepy for making the collection, which is the hub of inside jokes in the Ratchet community currently.
It's true.
We love to all sit in VC and make the same jokes 5 times over and all laugh like it's the first time we heard them.
All right, it looks like both of these runners are ready to go. Of course, this is the final match. No matter what happens, whoever wins this 5-minute game maximum is going to walk away the winner of RaC Champs and line their pockets with like what, 300 more bucks, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a
Still
big.
making a pretty penny. You are still
Yeah.
making a pretty penny. So, honestly, man, I'm just fucking chilling at this point, to say the least. So, I'm ready when you guys are. I guess I've done a countdown. Tab's done a countdown. And that only means one thing, you know?
All right, we're going to get Deltadoid in here to do the final countdown. No, all right, we're going to begin. If both runners are ready, if you want to start your game so that I can have you come in from the cutscene. Both of these runners, Sneepy's already loaded up whenever you feel like it. So just to keep things even, because as you can see here, Scotto loaded in 8 seconds later and actually ends up coming to Pokitaru first. We just want to make sure both of these runners are able to start at the exact same time. Runners, here we go. The final game begins in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, let me get some birds, okay?
I can't even...
When it comes time, because... You know what? We do a lot of cheers here. Some of them are good. Most of them are actually bad. But the first one will be very good.
Are we supposed to explain what's happening here, or just make random noises? Because I'm definitely falling into the latter camp currently.
Honestly, I'm chill. Just watching them sync up the bold animation perfectly.
I'm just chilling at this point, dude.
Oh my god, they die at the exact same time.
Oh my god!
So, of course, as you can see, Scotto is moving through this area a little bit faster than Sneepy, but that doesn't matter because they're both synced up on the same global cycle right now because they death abused at the exact same time. So they are going to be doing the bird at literally the same time as each other.
Oh my god,
I can't watch. I can't watch, dude.
I'm so terrified. I'm so terrified. Oh my god.
Oh, the Sneepy.
Oh, that is tragic.
That's it. That's pretty much it, man. Like I don't mean to be a doomer here. Anything can happen, sure, whatever, blah blah blah. But like
the $300 bird.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, of course. So Scott getting the bird first try, Sneepy not quite getting it. This is basically with the setup. It's going to be a nigh unassailable lead coming in here from Scott. We're going to see how it goes though, because size matters can sometimes find a way.
Yeah, it's definitely not like completely over, but another.
All right, you know what? You know what?
Oh man.
My heart hurts now.
I think that's a forfeit. Yeah, I think that's going to be a forfeit from Sneepy. You really hate to see that.
Sneepy not going to be happy with that at all. Just to put it very bluntly. He turns off his ninja feed. It's basically all on Scott now to end up or close out this run and then seal his place as the champion, the first ever winner of RaC Champs. Very, very brutal and unfortunate that it has to go down that way. If any of you guys see Sneepy online, please do me a favor and give him a little bit of love. Obviously we're going to congratulate Scott once he ends up winning this. But no one wants to lose like that. I mean, there's losing and there's losing like that, and everyone knows that Sneepy does not want it to go out like that.
We've been saying it all tournament long that bird was just absolute murder, and here you see it once again for one last time in the finals that it just can completely ruin your chances of an entire set in a single moment.
Yeah, but Scott on a good pace here, still finishing on a very clean run. Ending things here going to Riken now. Is that what it's? Riken 5? I forget the name of the planet. Oh, Caledon. Yeah.
That's Todd.
Yeah, that is Todd, isn't it?
Yeah, Scotto pulling out an incredibly good run. If you see his time at 3:49 world record, and there aren't a lot of seconds left in the run. He's to be closing out probably a sub 4. I think we're going to see here is really insane in a race setting. Yeah, 3:58 there.
Sub 4 run.
Sub 4 in the run. So that is hats off to Scotto, to say the least. That is quite the run. That is not how I wanted it to end, but
yeah. Well, GG's to Scott all the same.
For real.
GG's. a fantastic job, keeping it, pulling ahead in RaC 1, never relenting on his lead. And even coming out of that Todd performance, being able to rally and take it here in game 3. I mean, that's basically all you can ask for. Very clinical performance here from Scott. And congratulations to him for winning that. That is huge. So he will. And also, I just want to say real quick, another $5 coming in from Meep Owo saying, "Cool cat, PogChamps, Corgi Derp, make that 5 more for the tourney." Thank you so much for that. It rounds the prize pool out to 2030 in total, which is extraordinary. So, even despite his rough performance today, Sneepy will be taking no less than $500. Scotto closing out first place, making over $800. Very, very incredible stuff. Scott, if you're still here, we'd love to have you on the mic.
He did.
I am here.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought you were still having your explosive diarrhea.
Scott, I mean, congratulations, man. You fought hard. You practiced. And it all comes down to this, where you are the first ever winner of RaC Champs. I mean, it's a cliche question, but it's one I feel I have to ask nonetheless. How are you feeling right now?
Honestly, man, I'm chilling at this point.
Do we have any honestly mans to post in the chat? We don't. Zem, what are you doing?
I'm not on the bleeding edge of this meme. You all have to let me know what I'm missing out on here.
We need like an FFZ channel where we have to band together and be like, listen, you need to add this if you're in this server. It's just
Can we get the honestly man?
Yeah, please. I would love to add it right now. Someone send me honestly, man. We'll get that in here.
Co-sign, because that's some real ass shit you just said. For real.
Co-signed, yeah.
Co-signed.
Also, real quick, because I think she might be about to leave, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to my mom, the one tab mom, who has been watching, I think, this entire time, and has been putting up with my whining about this tournament for the last 2 weeks.
Oh, that's so sweet.
A little bit of love for my mom, from me at least. Hi, mom, literally.
Hi, Tab Mom.
Hi, Tab's mom.
Oh, I've seen this FFZ, and I wondered why you all were so obsessed over it. But you know what? I got to be a part of the hype here. We got to get some honestly mans in here for Scott. But to rally this back in for just a hot second. So Scott, I mean, coming into this match, you had just lost your previous match against Sneepy in 0-2 fashion. Now, can you kind of take us through how you chose to prepare for this, to come back and rally so hard here?
I think I just stuck to what I've said before, just practice RaC 1 and size matters. Leave Todd up to chance.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out for Todd, but it worked out in the other two.
Yeah.
Mostly because I think Sneepy messed up Jank Pot early on.
Yeah, that was a very unfortunate setback for him. But obviously, massive kudos to you for, I think pretty much anyone watching today would have expected Sneepy to win RaC 1, 9 times out of 10 or some, maybe not that extreme, but something close to it considering he has the experience, he has the PB edge. But yeah, I think that's the upset that really decided things. Really changed.
One thing I will say about RaC 1 is the breakable clip on Fleet is absolute garbage.
Hold up right.
I do.
I've just solved it for you.
You could also just hover and then let go of hover, and then you'll clip through every time if you're in the wall.
Okay.
I lost
which breakable clip?
To a minute on that alone.
Oh, you're talking about the one where you
an extra minute
the
on
ground
the first
pound clip.
segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a rough one for sure. If you aren't 100% spatially, you have your spatial awareness.
Sometimes the camera just kind of fucks you. You just really can't do much when the camera just starts to fuck you. But yeah,
when I was messing that up, my mental was just gone.
Yeah,
I was like, no, I'm gonna lose a minute here, just like I did in a practice run last night. I'm gonna lose the entire race to that.
Yeah,
you held it together.
You did.
Especially towards the end of RaC 1, you saw Sneep kind of closing the lead a little bit. And I think we could kind of tell on our end that you were a little flustered, but you were definitely keeping it together enough to close the race out, and that had to feel good, especially when it was so tight.
Yeah, and I messed up both of the Velden 2 chains, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I built up good speed on the second one, but then I just lost it all. And then I ended up on 1 health. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna lose the race.
Yeah. I mentioned it at the time, but I was actually pretty impressed from where I was sitting that you, well, one, kind of knew that you didn't want to be PDA stopping anywhere in that section. 2, that you kind of managed to pull off the chain anyway. Like, that's not something that's like easy to just go for on the fly. To be honest, when I saw you on 1 health, I was like 70% sure you were gonna die.
Yeah,
and that we were gonna see
my
Sneepyy
gosh.
take game 1.
Had you died on Velden, might you not even be here? Like, there's so many things in the entire run where things were close. They really were. They were a lot closer than you would expect. And size matters. Really coming down to that is such a crazy game because, again, it just all comes down to bird and the clip. And
Yeah.
of course, you nailed both of them, and that's it. That's all you need, man. Getting a sub 4 in a marathon run is incredible. It really is.
I think Sneepy got the sub 4 against me last time.
Yeah.
After
Equalizing.
I messed up the golem clip. But
Yeah.
tab setup worked this time.
It's 100% consistent 50% of the time.
Oh, yeah, by the way, for everybody, for all the fans, I did add Honestly Man. You just have to refresh your chat, and you should be able to use it.
Honestly, man, Shan.
Also, I would like to add, I have never missed the bird in this entire tournament, in all 5 of my matches.
That's clutch.
He's got his special setup that he made a video on. So it's working for him, and it could work for you if you watch it and you study it. So.
Budding size matters runners out there, of which there are none left in the tournament.
Emerald, he's one.
Yeah, we do have Emerald making waves in Size Matters as of late.
Yeah, didn't he just get no proxies world record?
Yes, he did.
Pretty
Oh,
sick.
shots, yeah.
Pretty sick. I'm glad, like, every game seems to be kind of active these days. Like, we have our own Rift Apart crew just doing their own thing, like, going off.
Dude, it's all the
We
RaC
have-
Zoomers. They just, like, do their own thing over in that channel, and they don't, like, interact with the rest of us. They're just,
Yeah,
like...
I kind of like that, though, you know? It's
Yeah.
of its own generation, you know?
It's
I want
dope.
them to have their own community as well. And then we even have, like, SAC being active, which is bizarre, but, you know.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to Baumwola.
That's going to be in the relay coming up in a few weeks here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, towards the end of the month.
Yeah, I'm going to be there, too. Yeah, it's me Wait, hold on. You're not playing me, actually. It's Riley. Never mind. I forgot.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought you
Riley
were
from
playing me.
Nightcore.
What are you guys
Yeah.
playing? Which category?
Back to
I'm
any
playing
percent.
any percent.
Oh,
The
okay.
best category.
His favorite category.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's going to be a dope thing to look out for. Obviously, we got to give shout-outs to that. I believe it's the end of the month, right? Like the last weekend of August?
It is the 28th of August, and the only reason I know this is because I double-checked today, and I was going to be commentating, but I actually can't do it anymore because I have a wedding on the 28th, which is annoying. But, I mean, not that I have a wedding, just annoying that they're on the same day.
We see Tab's priorities here.
Yeah. But it's on the 28th, yeah.
But yeah, and so yeah, as people are saying, and Nick posted in chat the games that are being played, some stuff that maybe you guys aren't used to seeing too much. We've got some RaC 1 and RaC 2, of course, but we also have SAC, Tools of Destruction, Quest for Booty, Rift Apart. So I'll be there. I'm sure most of us are going to be there. You all should show up as well. I think that's going to be done on GDQ's channel, right?
Yeah, that will be a GDQ hotfix.
GDQ hotfix. You love to hear
For
it.
those of you interested in Zem specifically, he's going to be running Quest for Booty in that.
Hell yeah. We're apparently, we can't find any commentators because there's only 3 runners of Quest for Booty. It's me, Black, and Mobius. Me and Black are the ones racing, and Mobius doesn't want to commentate. So, so we're currently struggling to find somebody to commentate the Quest for Booty run. So if anyone wants to slam through some Quest for Booty real quick, I'll sit in a call with you. I swear to God. We want to get somebody here.
If you need somebody, maybe I'll figure it out. But I did that for Size Matters like 3 years ago.
It's a pretty easy game, all things considered, honestly. It's there's nothing too crazy about it. It's just learning some little stuff. But regardless, that's not why we're here right now. That's just something to look out for. But yeah, going back to, oh my goodness, we got a raid from Outrageous Josh.
Hey, let's go.
Now that we're actually done with this, I do want to say that we wanted to get some people outside of the community to do some commentary. Unfortunately, it didn't work out this time. Josh was one of the people. He had an upper respiratory infection for a while, so he couldn't be a part of it early on. We tried to get Deo Man. Things didn't really sync up too well. But we'll make sure that in the future we get some people that you'll all be really excited to see. So
I'd love to do more events like this. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great matches and highlights. I'm sure this will be going up on your YouTube channel.
Mhm.
And some of these matches are seriously worth rewatching. There is some great content here. It has been quite the community event. I've had a lot of fun watching, and I'm here. This is my first day commentating. I've tried to commentate like 15 times, but this is my first day making it. It's been a blast. I've had a lot of fun. And I'm sure the other matches that I missed are also great. And it's been a lot of fun. I love to do these community events. Every time we have one, it always brings us closer. So
I agree.
Things like the GDQ hotfix are coming up soon, and that's I'm sure that's going to be just as fun. I'm sure we're gonna all enjoy that. So I appreciate everybody in the chat as well that comes around and watches these and has donated towards the prize pool. You've all made this such a memorable event just being here. So I really thank everybody for showing up. I thank everybody for running, because running these games is a lot of work. I even tried to enter, and I was just like, dude, that's like fucking too much fucking work for me. So anybody who even entered, you are much stronger witted than I am on doing that, and yeah, it's just been awesome.
Yeah, I will say as a bit of a teaser. We haven't actually officially discussed this yet, but if I think we may actually go a different direction for the next RaC Champs event.
Jack Champs.
SAC Champs? We're actually, I'm going to give you all a little bit of a teaser now, and we'll talk about the details later, which I'm sure the team will be very happy with me about. But I know that at one point on the table was the idea of doing a multi-team all special bolts relay race. So that would be so ridiculous. Get like 3 or 4 teams of top level all gold bolts, all platinum bolts, all titanium bolts runners, and just have them go at it. Build up their teams however they want. Maybe try to do some balancing as far as like seeding different people with others. And then the prize pool would just be pretty much split up where like certain teams would win certain amounts. We'll have to work out the details. Obviously, that's a very involved process, but that is something that could be on the table. Just saying.
And we have some people trying.
As soon as we find some people that run ATV,
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna be really sick.
Yep, that's gonna be.
I kind of want to learn some Ouya Hundo, so maybe we can.
That'd be sick, dude. If we could get it's an easy transition.
Run ATV in here right now.
Yeah, you got the 2 runners here right now. You got me and Scott. Yeah, not to detract too much from all this, because obviously this is all hype and whatnot. But we have Scott here on the mic right now. I do want to say. Scott, if you want to take this chance to give any particular shout outs or any particular like words of wisdom or life advice, or the floor is yours to say whatever you want right now.
Just shout out to Sneepyy. He is an absolutely fierce competitor. He capitalized on like all of my mistakes in RaC 1 and in Todd. And it's just, this match could have gone any which way. Every game was a toss up, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ever the sportsman coming out of here from Scott. I think that's also one of the best parts of this, is that everybody who we've had on the mic has always been shouting out their opponent as well. It's just a very classy thing to do, and I'm sure Sneepyy appreciates it, Scott. Of course, I want to also just make sure real quick that you're all following. If you enjoyed today's match, hold on, make sure I'm doing this correctly. Follow Sneepyy, follow Scottobozo, hit up their social medias, hit up these 2 as well. They're both streamers. They both run these games. They're dope. And if you're not following any of the 4 people who are here right now, hell, if you're not following my channel either, it's free. You can drop a follow whenever you want on any 5 of us.
Post some links.
Unless we forget Izzy and Mucker as well.
Lest we forget.
Competitors that aren't here today for us, but also put up absolutely fierce competition during the tournament.
I agree.
They both put up. I know. I think Mucka took it kind of hard when he lost, but God, he still put on a hell of a show. I'm gonna be honest. That match with you and him is like legendary. Like it's legitimately probably one of the best races I've ever seen. Period. Mm-hmm. So
that was an extremely exhausting race to play. For anyone who wasn't aware, we had a Todd race on I think last Monday where we were never more than like 15 seconds apart, and the lead changed hands multiple times. It was just dreadful for the butt cheeks. Yeah, I really want to go back and watch, not to plug myself too much. I mean, I did lose the race, so spoilers.
But that's the beautiful part about this sort of thing is that, you know, I think the reason why we want to keep putting on more high-stakes stuff like this is because we never really have the chance to experience this kind of stuff in speedrunning. I mean, there's the pressure of world record, but it's never, like, directly you versus someone else, you know?
Yeah.
Or like...
adds a completely different dynamic to the hobby when you're racing against someone.
Yeah.
Like, with stakes. Like, people do friendlies all the time, obviously, and that's mostly just for bragging rights, but this has been a complete... I mean, just talking for myself, I'm saying that this is a completely different experience. The way I've like thought about my runs and the way I've approached practice and things like that has been completely different, and it's been really fun exercise to try and figure out like how to run when I know I'm like going up against other people rather than just kind of beating my head against the wall trying to get the best time I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been really fun despite having to play size mountain top.
Well, congratulations once again, Scott. It was such a pleasure to watch you run, only dropping one set the entire tournament. Just a really great performance all around. You should feel very, very proud of yourself. Same thing to you as well, Sneepy. I know that this did not go the way that you wanted it to today, but you know, you put up a hell of a show, and you guys will, of course, be receiving... basically, as soon as this stream is over, I'll be paying everybody out. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of love going in all your PayPals in just a second here. But yeah, do we have any RaC people on right now that we can give a host to?
Let me check my follow list.
Armin.
Is Armin actually streaming right now? This could be kind of funny.
Armin.
Oh my God, he
As we
is
are
streaming.
Yeah,
just
I've
as
got
we are
Armin.
streaming, I want to say that my mum replied to me shouting her out with possibly the most mum comment I've ever seen in my life, which is, "Hi back to you all."
You love to hear it.
Yeah, Armin's the only one streaming Ratchet. There are other Ratchet runners live, but no.
I think this will be good enough. This is everything
Yeah,
that
it's
this
just
crowd
Armin and
needs.
Skunk right now. So pick your poison, Armin or Skunk.
Oh,
I really want Bill in the VC to imitate Armin's reaction to being hosted.
What is happening?
Yeah, I think for the legacy, we got to give this to
my God.
Armin. As much as I love Skunk, but here we're gonna get a raid. What should the raid message be? This is the. Oh wait, it should probably just be the
lion.
the lion. It has to be the lion.
Like you can't
Can
even
somebody
do
explain
anything
what that lion is? Because he's been posted in my chat a few times.
else. No. Don't explain it. Don't tell him.
Okay.
He doesn't know.
Dude, he doesn't know.
Dude, he doesn't know what the fuck.
He doesn't know.
All right, let's get out of here, boys.
All right.
Thank you everyone for sticking around.
Thank you, Angel, for the host, even though the stream is over. Still a lot of love to you, Angel. Hope you had a fantastic stream today. Everybody, it's been a pleasure.
Take their hats off. What are you guys doing? Like,
Sorry.
Nobody took their hats off. Like,
It's over. Woo!
I even tried to like cue it up and everything, but you know.
You missed your chance.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody.
Yeah, go enjoy Armin's stream. We'll be back here tomorrow with more probably RaC 2 Hundo or some other random bullshit. But yeah, I hope you all had a great time watching this. And until next time, everybody.